the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also, remember to follow us on Twitter at KMega4.
Welcome to the GRG Podcast. They got that last part. What's happening, everybody? The GRG Podcast is alive. And yeah, I'm on double duty. We can doing the damn thing. It is feels good. Feels good. You know what I'm saying? I haven't done a double podcast in a while. But I have been busy all week long. So man, shout out to RDX, shout out to one of our guests that kind of kicked it off. And then of course, we just came off of Crossfire, so shout out to Mooch and them to for asking me to come on through and do our thing. I know you said, but no, it was. You know what? I will say this. I was expecting chaos. I was expecting war. So I had this mental thought process, like, oh yeah, okay, I got to bring back the old, K-Mega of old. But it was subtle, it was cool, it was calm, it was collect. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what
that was because Jeff Grubb was there, bro. Like
it's because it was Jeff Grubb. Okay, so shout out to Jeff Grubb because they were on their best behavior. But but no, it was really good. Had a good time. And yeah, so like I said, really do appreciate it, and definitely will hop back on again. And maybe see, when I come in thinking that everything is going to be on the up and up, then it'll probably be complete chaos. So it is what it is. But this is GRG. This is not Crossfire, and so we need to get to it, man. We do have a lot to discuss. Do appreciate you guys coming in and checking us out. And as always, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Hey, share this out. Let people know that we are live. And let's get right to it, man. The intros right off the bat, man. This gentleman here, he's an upcomer. He's somebody that, I recently did a one-on-one podcast with. Really good dude, man. He's got really good content. He is low-key probably hit up and talked to mostly all the heavy hitters, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about just everybody else. Than most other podcasts out there, man. And so for me to be asked to be considered to be coming on this podcast for a one-on-one, I mean, I was really flattered and felt felt good about that, man. But we really had a good conversation. So you need to check out this man's content. Right here, man, I messed his name up on Crossfire, but I won't mess it up here. Him, Solo, what's happening with you, bro? Man, tell everybody about a little bit about yourself, man, and where they can find you.
Yeah. What's cracking, everybody? You hear me?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm Ham Solo 05, part of They Said We Said Gaming. We have a Twitter page that you can check out if you want to. It links you directly to our YouTube channel, which is also TSW.
Link is in the description to his Twitter page, by the way.
Dope. Yeah. TSWS Gaming for YouTube, if you just want to look it up through the search on there. Definitely subscribe to us if you want to meet and see who I be talking to. I am going to be having Tim Dog debuting on one of my episodes next week, and also Lord Attic. I just got done speaking with UK Meg on one of the episodes that are going to be up and coming as well. I think you are the week after them two. So I do things where it's kind of an intimate setting where it's just me and one other person. We're just chatting, kicking it at first, and then we go into the show. But it's really just supposed to kind of broadcast who you are as a person, kind of see behind, I mean, that's the name of the show, Behind Them Sticks. So I'm trying to like reach the person behind the sticks and see who they are, what kind of stuff do they like that has to do with gaming, what are you into outside of gaming, just, you know, just trying to get friendly with it, and also just trying to show people within the gaming society, hey, that we're just all people. We're all, you know, just trying to have a good time and escape a little bit every once in a while, or even meet new people. I mean, that's where that's the way I met my that's the way I met my co-host Loke. He lives all the way in Africa. So like I met him on Twitter, just like kicking it and just like talking, like we agreed on a post or whatever. And then I hit him up like, bro, like you want a game? Like, and he was like, yeah. And then I hit him up a few, you know, days later, like, yo, I see that you're online. You want to get down? And he is like, bro, it's like 2 a.m. here. I'm about to go to bed. And I was like, where the hell are you at? And he's like, I'm in Africa. And I was like, bruh, like, is this a scam right now? Who the fuck am I really talking to? Like, excuse my language. I don't know if I can cuss.
Nah,
but anyways,
you go ahead.
But I was like, I don't know who this dude is. And I just, you know, like allowed him onto my, you know, I mean, you know how it is with information. You know, you go to talking to somebody here and just like, I don't know who I'm talking to. But he ended up being a legit person. Really dope dude. He actually wrote a few articles for IGN. So look up my dude Loke7, LLOUCK7, with the @ symbol in front of it. But that's my bro on Twitter. And we have that They Said We Said YouTube channel together as well. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I'm in Kansas City right now. Just moved here from
just down the street.
Denver.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I'm in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's what's up. I just moved here from Denver, Colorado. I moved because I was an indoor skydiving instructor and decided to, you know, just go to another city because it's a lot cheaper to live here than it is Denver. Denver's like turned into California.
Oh wow, yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's where I stay.
All right, excellent. Now, and like I said, this link is in the description. I know I usually do it later, but because I knew that I had to do double time tonight, I went ahead and put all that down. So I might need to just think I got to do double time all the time, and then just got that already ready to go. Yeah, that's what I think. But anyway, let's get to our second guest. This person is no stranger because, as my boy Xbot448 would say, this man created this hashtag Crispy Truth. Crispy Bomb, the man from the Next Podcast and from so many other podcasts out there. How you doing, brother, man? It's good to have you back on. It's been a while. What's going on with you? Tell everybody who lives on a rock that don't know anything about you.
Oh man, them damn turkeys, bro.
Oh,
it's like when Kenny got killed in like what was it, episode 3 of like the original South Park, when they're just pecking him and he's just dying, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." Yeah, that's me right now.
You chopping all types of turkeys, huh?
Oh God, turkeys! I freaking hate it. And you know what? It's not just a hate of I have to deal with it. It's a hate that, you know, I eat it once a year, literally, and I've been forced to eat it twice now because of my girlfriend. So I told her I have a little hate for that. Like, because
somebody needs to teach her how to brine a turkey properly, apparently.
No. That's the family thing. Like, you got to understand, I got to go to her family, I got to go to my family. So now I got to eat turkey twice. And I'm like, yo,
they hate turkey. They both
don't. I already hate turkey because I got to lift those 30-pound turkeys all the time. Like, it's pretty annoying. Other than that, of course, you know, me and K Mega have gone back and forth over the years, and I think tonight we're gonna have a grand old time because I think we're gonna agree, as we usually do. but there's a few and far between that we don't agree. So I'm looking forward to it, and I mean, it's glad to meet Ham Solo, and I don't know what I should call you at this point. I know Sick, but
You talk about D? You just call her D.
D. Okay, D.
Yeah,
is-
just call her D. Yeah. I've been telling her she just needs to change her name to D, but she got Jeannie's mom and then Kirby Titan and Raging Bull.
I just go with Kirby Titan, whatever. That's the Xbox Live name and stuff, right? So
yeah, like she got all types of names, man. I'm like, man, what are you in for? I don't know, but anyway.
All right.
The name Kirby Titan is legit. Like you should run with that.
Yeah, you should just run with Kirby
Microsoft
Titan.
gave it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
That's actually a cool ass name.
Yeah. not like
disagree. Change your name now.
Xbox gave me a
I'm
brown
actually a
shoe toy.
Kirby
and that wasn't a
fan.
good
I'm
name.
actually the OG, like Kirby's Dream Land. Like love that game. Like I grew up with that game. So yeah. But it's gonna be a great time, and there is a topic that like I haven't been able to touch on a podcast. I hope we get to.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it because we didn't even get on a Crossfire. So yeah, we will get to it. I cannot wait. So and we didn't get to it
all the time.
Oh no, we did get to it at the last. That was the last topic for Crossfire. But the other topic, the topic where I'm going to show out on this topic, but that's going to be a little bit later.
My.
But let me go ahead and get further on down the line, man. Our main man sick. I thought he was sick, but he's okay. He's doing decent until probably that stone
Look at God.
get out. So, bro, how you been? How you doing? Listen. I got a big hole in my leg, in my thigh. So you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good.
Man, I'm just waiting for my Kramer moment when I'm at a game or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm feeling the pain. I go to the bathroom and you hear me yell, "Ah!" And then later on, like 5 seconds later, I walk out whistling because I'm all good now.
Right.
I'm waiting for that. But yeah, man. Oh, yeah. So we got a guest here. What's up, Ham Solo and Crispy, the dude who always sounds like he's been gargling hot gravel. And that's not an insult. I'm like, damn, that's not an insult.
How is that not an insult?
To me, baby.
No, you know why? Because it's low and gravelly, and like that's exactly what I think every time. Really,
World
Love the description.
See, he
That
just
was
did it right there
fantastic.
with that word. Yeah, I swear to God, every time I hear his voice, I think the same thing too. So,
Wow.
But yeah,
You just
anyway,
ruined
that
his
man
appearance
said,
for me for the
what?
next however many hours this is.
Man, and watch, and he sounds like this, but he looks like a little Teddy Ruxpin. He's all little and
Lord.
young looking and stuff.
Look at the pictures I post.
I know, that's what I'm
people
saying.
know who I look like. Okay,
This child. What? Said, oh hell no. But anyway, all right. D, Kirby Titan, aka Jenny's mom. What's happening? What's going on? Look at that. See, how you doing? What's been happening?
I'm doing well. It's been a rough week. More ways than one.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad that I'm here. We're all here. We got gaming to escape to, talk about, bullshit about. I'm really thankful that it is a hobby I share with so many people. Yeah, that's kind of where I've been this week. But anyways, to not be mushy, K-Mega, you still owe me a game in Gears 5. Come get this work. Stop playing with me.
Oh, whoa,
That's it.
whoa,
It's been a month. Y'all are witnesses.
and you said it in front of Crispy. You said this in front of Crispy. Now Crispy's gonna have to be the ref. Crispy's gonna have to be the ref.
Yo, I might have to play her. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
let's go.
Shit.
I know Gears players. She said Gears right off rip. You watch, yo. She probably gonna whoop my ass, yo. Watch.
Whoa. Now, what I will say is, I am a beginner. I don't boast. I've been playing for just a little while. I did reach my highest KD this week. It don't mean nothing, but I'm extremely proud of it. It was like 102 kills to 2 deaths. It was very nice.
Yeah, yo, no.
You was playing against bots.
I'm a wild man. I just run in there. Like especially if it's King of the Hill, I just run the fuck in there, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so
That's
this
my
is what we're
favorite.
gonna do. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
we're
My
going.
bad.
No. You're fine. No, you're fine. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get down this weekend. This weekend, we're going to get down. You know what? This reminds me of a Grubhub commercial. I should hear the doorbell. Thank you. Oh, just got served some. What is this? Breakfast? It's a burger.
You talking about breakfast? Hold on now.
It's a what kind of burger?
Talking about
And
Oh,
she
it's a
said the
really
ding
big
dong on
burger.
cue. That was good.
It's
That was a
what
good look.
in it?
I
Cheese,
know I love
bacon,
breakfast. Stop playing with me.
French fries.
Mm.
Okay, does it got an egg on it?
Ooh,
Okay,
wait.
all right. Okay,
No
here we go.
poutine. God
It's
damn.
got to be sunny side
Damn.
up,
Got to have
bro.
everything on
Thank
it.
You
Jeez.
gotta let that
All
shit
right.
break right over the
Yeah,
burger,
yeah,
bro.
just break right
Oh
off the
my
burger. Oh
God.
yeah. But you see, yeah. So anyway, I know that we got some topics to knock out, so we need to get started. But
Yeah,
gotta get to these super
you
chats
mentioned
first.
breakfast.
These super chats work, please, ladies and gentlemen. I am begging now because I do need some of this. I need some of this YouTube, but I don't get the YouTube money until next month. But I do need to get some of these backwards compatible games because you know what? I'm on a budget. So anyway, Sir X-Man in the chat, he says, K Mega, this is for you. So you can order Mortal Kombat versus DC. Get your game off. I will. Thank you so much, sir. I will definitely do that. I am going to collect so many games, but that'll be something we'll be talking about here a little bit later. And I cannot forget this because you did not mention this, Crispy. But Yobi, Dragonheart Yobi says he's from Retro Renegades. So you forgot to rep Retro Renegades. So shout out to Retro Renegades.
Yo, but of course, like you know, always with the outro, bro. Like, come on,
Yeah.
like you know, seriously, it's me and K Mega are on next. Like that's why I mentioned it, bro.
All right, so what I'm going to do, if we got time, we'll talk about the pre-discussion, but we're going to get straight on to the first topic, and that is talking about Activision's woes. Okay, so Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan are not happy with the company after one more piece of dirt has surfaced. You know what I'm saying? So how serious has this become for the company? And so we're going to go straight to our guest here, Ham Solo. Okay, so what in the world why is that the CEO has not been fired yet? And why is it that there's more people walking out? And what is this going to do for the future of Activision going forward? I mean, is this a possibility that Activision could be in some deep peril, or do you think that they'll come out of this? What do you think, bro?
Well, so I personally believe Activision as a company will probably be fine because a lot of people don't look at this kind of stuff that often, and it just slips right under the rug. As for like I also believe that they're gonna make a move to justify them to be able to move forward. So to be able to get rid of somebody big would have to be something that would happen. So I mean, I'm really expecting some sort of big change to come from Activision because they're gonna want to make a move, especially when they got the head of PlayStation, they got Xbox talking. Like they're in rocking a hard place right now. They don't know what to do, but they're gonna have to make some sort of monumental looking. It may not actually be monumental, but they may have to butter up a burnt biscuit pretty much and try to serve it to the crowd, and hopefully they get over it. But stopping games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, that's hard to stop something that has that much clout, whether you look at it on Twitter or not. I mean, like Twitter and other social media platforms are just fractional in the gaming industry. And there's so many more gamers that are not paying attention to anything social media wise. So they'll survive in the aspect until they'll survive within the aspect, and then also be able to maneuver around it one way or another. This isn't the downfall of Activision.
Okay. All right. Great point. And I do have to say, I just pulled this this packaging out. Well, not whatever the thing. Where your food is in this container. And I have to say, there's a lot of bacon. A lot of bacon. Like there's like 3 or 4 things of bacon on
Hey, whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
burger.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. Listen,
Is it crispy?
What's all this whining? Okay, what's all this whining and complaining about bacon? Bacon makes everything better.
Oh no!
Okay,
no,
you'll
no,
eat
no, 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 no,
everything,
no.
even
I
tofu.
am not complaining. That's the problem. I'm not complaining, but I'm saying that there's also bacon on the side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Oh
could just eat
man,
it
that is.
individually.
Or you just put it on top of the burger.
Yeah, I love the bacon. There's bacon in the burger. There's 4 strips, and then there's like 3 strips right here on the side, laid on the fries. So I'm
not
like,
seeing a problem here. I'm not seeing a
no,
problem.
no.
here.
I'm just saying,
What-
I ain't never seen like that.
no.
So, oh my Lord Jesus, boy. But anyway, okay, yeah. Okay, so somebody's gonna have to talk long. Now I'm just playing. Crispy.
I don't want breakfast. Damn it.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
Yeah, because I definitely would have got my pancakes and anything. Let's not talk about breakfast. Okay, let's keep it.
You still going to
What do you think about Activision and what's going on, man? What like we know, it's just like what Ham Solo was just talking about. This COD is just such a force. You don't see it going away. Now, Diablo, that remaster that came out, it didn't do very well. And it was also that it was broken and things like that. But what is going to happen? Do you think that they're going to do like what a Facebook did and change their name, or what is happening? And why is it that Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan
Right.
are out here? You know, they're saying, "Look, we're going to evaluate this." What do you think this all means? Dealing with them as well.
I mean, let's be logical for a second. If Phil Spencer or Jim Ryan did the things that Kotek did, they'd be fired. Or at the least, they'd be demoted. Okay? They have done nothing with this. They have like if my CEO of the company I work for did this, they'd be fired. Okay? Threatening people's lives and this and that, like that takes it to an extreme on top of all the things that they've already done. It's actually pathetic that Activision Blizzard has done nothing. And the worst part of this is two, people that I thought would have resigned or something at this point. Mike Ybarra and Rod Ferguson are working for that company. And that is sad to me. It is extremely sad to me that they have allowed this and just been like, okay, like, we're going to walk out with people. Like Rod said, I walked out with them too. And then he's back working for them. There's a point in time where there needs to be a change, especially at the lead position at a company. And they haven't done it. Regardless of all the feedback, all of the things that have come out, it is ridiculous. I don't understand it. I am in the camp of some people. I don't like Activision games for the most part. I don't.
Back.
But Blizzard is hit or miss. And at this point, the way they're acting towards their employees, because I'm an employee of my company. That's the way I look at it. The way they're acting towards them is that they are irrelevant. And that pisses me off. That makes me say, hell no, I am not supporting. I am not buying. I am not even thinking about any game that you come out with. I don't care if there's nostalgia to it or anything else. I am not supporting this until you get that damn CEO the hell out of there. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Because at the end of the day, it comes from the top down. I don't care what anybody says. Somebody's got a fucking idea and they're going to go and do it. And you know what? If you're going to talk to your employees like that, there's a fucking problem. And it's going to trickle down to the people that are above those employees or above that person and say, oh, this is okay. So it's a trickle down effect. And at this point, this dude should be fired, in my opinion.
You mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask her. Yeah.
Crispy, I love the passion. It's well deserved. I really like what you're saying, but do you really think that like my whole point of what I was just saying was, do you really think that everybody is going to care enough. Like, that's my whole point about Call of Duty being so big, or, ABC being, something to, hold their hat on at the moment, because they're going through so much bad stuff in the background, but they're trying to make, Call of Duty and everything look good right now. Do you not think that the games that they have are going to be powerful enough to kind of, keep the sheet over what's going on? Because, in this society, a lot of people look past stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they also overthink stuff. And this is the time that we should overthink it and be like, dude, like this is the time that there's an individual in this company that you could say what you want, but has trickled down to the entire like management team, as I'd like to call them. And I look at this and I say, this is a bad thing. This is a bad thing for the industry. I mean, we are completely ignoring what Ubisoft did. We're completely ignoring what everything else did, because they got rid of those people in some way, shape, or form. Demoted, fired, whatever. And we sit here and look at this, and the worst part is that you have one of the most looked games in the entire industry in Call of Duty. Okay, you can put Vanguard on it. You can put freaking Modern Warfare 2, whatever. Call of Duty.
Crispy, I got to say this too, because I seen what Yobi posted, and I seen somebody else posted. So I turned on my PlayStation because I wanted to make sure. But that whoever's been saying that is not true. I just turned on my PlayStation. I'm looking and right here, Call of Duty, Vanguard, free trial, play now. It's all up. Yeah, PlayStation has not made that move. So.
And I think the only way PlayStation, I'm going to be honest, we're at the point where PlayStation is swallowing Xbox. It really is. And Xbox does not have the marketing rights. It does not. No. So let's look at it this way. If Xbox says, you know what, we're not gonna publish this. And you got to remember, Sony did it with Cyberpunk. Remember?
Right.
And Grand Theft Auto.
Quickly.
Okay. This Grand Theft Auto remake.
Okay, yeah. So
am I muted?
And this has nothing.
All right.
And this has nothing to do with morality. Okay, morals of a company. This in itself, Bobby still being there after all this, is a problem. Yeah, it is so much worse. And for them to not do anything is even worse than that. Okay? And we're going to sit here and act like it's okay because, I get it. I get what you're saying, Ham. Dude, people love COD. I get it. Like, people love freaking Diablo. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, as gamers, are you going to support what we've seen? And I'm not talking just now. I'm talking what we've seen before when they walked out and they walked out again and they walked out again. When does the walkout become, we're going to stand up for the rights, especially of female developers, and say, enough's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where I go and say, stop the bullshit. The guy's got to go. Let's start there. Then if people need to go after, that's a different story. But he's got to go, and they haven't done it. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, no,
the dude's been garbage for a year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, and this is another big problem. And I'm going to go to you on this one next, Slayer. But another thing too is that, like what Crispy was saying, there was a walkout that just happened this week. So obviously there's still issues, and then out of more reporting that's been dropped, the co-CEO next to Mikey Barra. The information came out that she was getting paid less than anybody else. Like, she got promoted to be CEO and her pay did not go up. So, I mean, when you talk about things like this, like, man, when you think about this overall situation that's going on with Activision, and where you got gamers you got developers that's coming out here and they're coming out it seems like every week and it's because they're not satisfied for what's going on, and it's not enough equality. And then you have your big announcement is that you make a woman not CEO but co-CEO, and then she comes out and finds out that she's not making the same amount of money because of her promotion. How is it that people and how is it that people are not talking about this more? Because I've been on a lot of podcasts and I've listened to a lot of podcasts this week, and I haven't heard anybody really talk about this at all this week. Slayer.
Yes.
You gonna talk? I mean, what's
said my name? Oh, well, you just said my name. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do I think? Okay, all right. Like, I don't know. He just said my name, and all of a sudden he just cut out. I'm like,
Well,
okay.
I did also say
Anyway.
that I'm coming to you next, Slayer. So
He did say that.
Yeah, I did say
Okay.
that.
He did say that. Just bad transition. Anyway, so listen, I gotta answer Ham Solo's question off bat. Is this the end of Activision? No, but this is the beginning of the end, hopefully, of Bobby Kotick. When we first were talking about this 2 months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I literally said earlier that day I accidentally stepped in a piece of shit, which I really did.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh,
that piece of shit is still worth more than Bobby Kotick. I said that then, and my words mean something a lot more now, don't they?
This kind of show we're gonna have tonight, huh? Okay.
I'm just saying.
Shade.
I did talk about this dude in that manner back then, and now my words, I bet you they hit a lot more accurately now, don't they? Okay, now we have all this information about the slime. Listen, this is a typical corporate asshole. Okay, that's what he is. Okay, and now we have the proof to back it up, right? Yo, listen. The only reason people aren't buying Call of Duty that much or the new remaster of Diablo is because they're not that good. Okay, we know about Call of Duty, right? But Diablo, at last second, was missing features and things that they promised would be in there at the last second that they took out. I couldn't tell you specifically what it was, but I remember off the top of my head that at like the last minute, they took out some features. Okay, Flamish would be able to expound upon that because I know he was really into that game even before it came out. But it just goes to show, all these gamers who sit here and talk all this talk aren't walking the walk, especially with their wallets. Okay, Diablo and Call of Duty aren't it this year, especially Call of Duty. This is the worst one in 10 years, right? In terms of sales, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Or maybe, 10 years I heard.
Yeah.
So, and like the multiplayer is free and all this, and this whole thing they're trying to do, which I mean, you normally do that anyway, but the game isn't selling because it's crap, not because of what's happening with Activision. And this is where I think, what Ham Solo was talking about earlier really matters. Because everybody's talking this talk about how mad there are and all these walkouts. Nothing is actually being done.
Right.
Off with their head. Off with his head. Off with his head already. Because you gamers aren't about that action like you say you are. Why is Call of Duty selling anything? It should have been the worst selling Call of Duty ever, period. From all the talk I heard from all these people. A lot of people who I see in your game history, y'all bought and played the game when you said you weren't gonna. You said you all were gonna stop playing Destiny. Y'all still playing Destiny. I'm not talking about the ones who said they were gonna continue playing Destiny. At least you said you were gonna, and you're consistent with what you say. I'm talking about all y'all who said you were gonna stop messing with them. And you're still messing with them. They're still getting your money. Okay? You're still paying off Bobby Kotick. He's getting your money. Does that anger you now to do something? Because apparently all this other stuff that's been happening hasn't. So, shame on the gamers, and especially shame on Bobby Kotick. You slimy piece of crap.
No doubt.
I'm done.
Okay. All right. So
Well
now
said.
getting a woman's perspective of this. Again, I'm looking at in the chat, and then we're hearing more information, which I did read that, but I forgot about it. But yeah, you're right. Also, the co-CEO that walked out. I think her last name is O'Leary.
O'Neal or something like that? I could be wrong, I'm sorry.
O'Leary or something like that. Yeah. She
I'm not
also said that she was sexually harassed. And I, how does this make you feel? Listen, I when I had when we first talked about that a couple of months ago, when we first started hearing all the rumblings about it, and I listened to, and I had Delilah and I had Infamous and you and I'm listening to everybody. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a stand. I'm gonna uninstall Call it, because I really do enjoy Modern Warfare and Cold War, but I'm like, you know what, there's a message that needs to be sent. And even though I already paid the money for these games, I can't get them refunded. I'm gonna uninstall them, and I'm not gonna play them until things get better there. It's not seeming to go because, again, I mean, the numbers is bad for Vanguard for since other previous Call of Duties, but of course that's because of the World War II aspect of it. I don't think it has anything to do with what their CEO has done and how the environment has been. So, from your perspective, why is this still happening at this company to this point when all the dirty laundry is just out in the air?
You guys have all kind of hit on the points, but and I don't want to be cliche, but it's money. That's the short answer. But this is the same thing, and I'm glad you brought up the podcast when me and all the ladies were here because we said this weeks ago. People are going to be, oh my gosh, that's so terrible, and then go right back to playing, go right back to doing whatever. Like Six said, people are talking the talk, but they're not walking the walk, which is fine. Like, I mean, you're lying, but I'd rather be like, you know what, I'm still gonna play it versus like, yo, that's terrible. And I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna play anything from them or use any product when you're doing it anyway. It's just like, I respect it more if you kind of just came out and said how you felt about it. But I mean, it's money at the end of the day. We all know Call of Duty is the moldy bread and butter of Activision. And they're just going to keep doing what they do. And it's also like what Ham said, we're not united against this. That is the problem. There is no unity. You have people who are just like, this some bullshit, get rid of Bobby. Then you have people who either are unaware or don't care. And then you have people who are just like, wow, that's terrible. But they're still going to consume the media anyway. And what some people don't seem to realize, especially in this digital age of gaming, is like, yeah, they're checking if you bought the game. They're checking, the sales numbers of launch and things of that nature. But they're also checking the metrics of people playing. So you getting it Black Friday for $35, you're still supporting. You getting it for free for someone else and you didn't pay for it, you're still supporting. As long as you play the game, you are still supporting. Period. And it's one of those things where it's just like your actions are going to speak much, 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 much louder than your words. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I'm not sure why they haven't gotten rid of Bobby yet, especially with all this embarrassing, messy, disgusting shit that has come out, especially this week. I don't know about y'all, but the first thing I thought of when I heard that he threatened somebody's life, that's a charge. You can't be threatening people's lives out here without, like, bump the employment. Like, how is that not a charge? You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially a man of his means.
Right, that's a charge. You
that
can't,
position.
Right, you can't just go around threaten that's threatening with intent to harm something. I don't know the charge, but it's something. So I don't understand. And I've had people, which I hate to say, I feel like honestly, and if you think back in like your own circles and your own people, I feel like since March 2020, there's always been something that people you're close to, people you've known for years, there's been at least one thing or one opinion they've had that you look at them differently. Because I've had people that play World of Warcraft. They're like, well, I'm gonna still play it, even though it's terrible. I'm gonna still play it because the devs worked on it, and I'm supporting the devs. And I'm like, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
people really want to make their logic fit, and a lot of people are just like, well, it'll take too much to get rid of him, and he's in a big position, it's a big company. I just want y'all to remember, if you do remember, because it was squashed quickly, when the leader of Tripwire said what he said about the Texas law that went into effect. Tripwire got his ass the hell out of there within, what was it, 3 days?
Oh yeah, he was
They
out of
were
there. He was out of there.
swiftly, and he was like the founder, big honcho
Right.
of
He was out of there.
Tripwire.
Yeah, he was out of there.
Tripwire is an indie developer. They, not to be rude, but they don't have the money that Call of Duty is bringing in.
Mhm.
They don't have no pull like Call of Duty had, and they were like, "Look here, y'all, that bitch gone. Okay, we got rid of his ass. Don't worry, we don't tolerate that shit here." And let's be clear, not to minimize, what the founder of Tripwire said, but the founder of Tripwire made a statement. Although controversial, he made a statement, and that kind of tells you about his character.
Mhm.
Bobby out here sweeping sexual harassment. He's threatening murder. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that are of a higher level of disgust, and they're dragging their feet. I don't know if Bobby got dirt on their asses. Like, I'm not sure
I don't know.
what's happened. Because that is there.
He could be in charge of the cover-up. I mean, he's at the top,
It doesn't make
Coke
sense
together
to me.
one.
That's why I guess to his last, right?
It doesn't make sense
It
because
doesn't make sense.
Tripwire,
Right.
no shade, they're probably thousandaires, not to be pocket watching. I'm just saying. And they were like, we don't give a fuck you found this company. Yo ass got to go. Like, he was gone. Bobby over here is making 150 something million. He's doing all these things that could possibly be illegal. Like, we've all had jobs. If your job gets a whiff, you did something semi-illegal, you're done. Like, I don't understand. And it just kind of displays, especially in this country, just, do as I say, not as I do. And it's just like, yeah, you can't do that because you're a lowly worker, you're not of this caliber, but he can do that because, well, it's just like there's this duplicity, and it's just pretty much, unfortunately, in every facet of life, and unfortunately for our favorite hobby, it's in this as well. I do believe there has to be a catalytic, like the FBI be like, something huge and messy is gonna take place before it's like, all right, so either they fire him, they retire him, or he goes into custody, and it's just like, well, I guess your job is terminated, bitch, because you in custody. Like, it has to be major. It has to be to the point where action has to be taken one way or the other. I don't think they're going to do anything. I really don't. I don't think they're going to do anything. This is just the way it is. And I don't know how many more. I don't know what worse he has to do for them to act. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I feel like this should be it, but whatever. They're just going to keep doing
right.
what they do.
And also the investors want him gone. So that's telling you something there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying? So like
deal.
that is a huge deal. Like, the investors want him gone. So you might be onto something. There might be a rabbit hole that is so deep that it might take you to the other side of the earth. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or a
Like,
lawsuit, something.
yeah, like something might be really major, because that if investors want you gone, employees want you gone, the people who know about this want you gone, then it is what it is. But yeah, no, the one thing about it overall, before we move on, there's a lot of hypocrites out there. There's a lot of people, and Dreadpool said something 100%. I agree. I don't like when people use the cancel culture for certain things, but this right here is definitely one of them where people are, they go and fight these fights and they don't seem logical. But this is where you would think that the cancel culture would come and do something about it, right? Like I don't know. It's crazy to me. But anyway, let's move on. And you know what? I'm gonna move up a topic because I was going to hold on to it because I knew that I was going to get really messy, but because
Just want to say right quick, that just shows the pettiness of cancel culture. Now on something important, nobody's saying anything really. It's just the gaming industry.
Like there needs to be something, yeah. That's what Dreadpool said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, this for the people, the people who don't like cancel culture and they use it for nefarious reasons to get their narratives out. This right here makes them look like they're right. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it just, you know, come on, man. Y'all, there's got to be more to this, and you know. It's just not a good look overall. But anyway, let me go on to the fourth topic because I'm itching and I got to get it out of my system. You know, because there's some other good topics that's more healthy for my heart. But this one right here, this has been a long time coming because I've said this for a long time, and there was a lot of people that tried to fight back and try to say, no, this was Microsoft's fault. This was Microsoft's. No, Microsoft didn't manage well. This is why Platinum Games didn't do what they do. No. Here we go. So, the head guy, I don't even know how to say his name, Kamiya. I'll just his last name. I know how to say his last name. He apologized to
Kamiya.
Kamiya. I said his name wrong. I said his last name wrong. Damn. Let me be country. So, this man, say his name again, please.
Hideki Kamiya.
Okay. He apologizes to the fans at Microsoft for Scalebound. Now, if anybody that's been following me for a very long time knows
wow, 9 years later.
Yeah. Y'all know, I've been here for a minute. But anybody who's been following me, you know how much I love how I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Scalebound's up there with my boy #Log. I was so excited for this game. Xbox needed this game. The Xbox One was they could have killed two narratives in one. A Japanese three narratives actually. A Japanese title, a hack and slash, and a brand new AAA IP. But forget all that crazy fanboy talk. I was just so excited for this game. It looked so cool, so original. It's going to have online. Oh my God, my dragon! If this game came out, my dragon would have been looking like the dragons from Game of Thrones. They were with armor and everything else. They had dancing emojis. Man, I would have been playing that game to this day. I was so excited for this game. And so many people came out and was in defense of Platinum Games because the game got canceled. Now, after all these years, now there was also some talk in between, but it was a little chattering, right? But now all of a sudden we're gonna come all out and say this. So before I get it, because I'm going to get into my rant, but I got to let you know there's a panel here, so I got to do a thing. I'm a host, so that's all I am. So I got to go over here and I got to get to Slayer on this one first.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I think I could last.
What in the world is why would he come out now and give the apology when he should have gave that apology back then, when you know what I'm saying, before Xbox and Phil and everybody else in the media slammed Xbox for like it was their fault. Why is he coming out now? And how did you feel about this when you read this article for the things that he said?
All right, here's another dude that needs to be off with his head at a game company, and it's unfortunate that PK was here, but he said this before, I believe, right here on this show, if not elsewhere, if not both, frankly. But Platinum is pretty mid, to be honest. I don't mean that as it's just facts, right? Like Platinum as a developer had an attraction to the real hardcore gamers out there, right? With the titles they were making. But when you look back at their history, the ratings and stuff of their games and like a lot of games, even that Transformers game they had, right? Mm-hmm. That was a middling title. Like it wasn't the greatest. It was quite repetitive, and a lot of their titles are like that. But so, first of all, there's no respect to really be had on Platinum's name like that. They're really not that great of a developer. They keep messing up stuff. But yo, to answer your question in the way you're asking it, and thank God you asked this question the way you did and put me first, because I thought I was gonna have the opposing view from most people, but at least I don't think I'm gonna have it with yourself. And that is, yo, wasn't it this same dude a couple months ago once again saying, hey, Microsoft, you should let us work on was it the same game again?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not tripping with that. Like, I couldn't remember anything specific. Just a vague memory that he said something like that. Hey, Microsoft, you should let us work on this game again. What? Now you come out with this whole apology. Oh, it was really your fault. Yeah, we know that already. Oh, we weren't used to Unreal. You weren't used to Unreal Engine? The engine that everybody and their mama is using left and right, and there's tons of money and support behind that engine if you're a developer who needs support, okay? Like, indies to AAAs use it, okay? One of my most favorite indies, I always talk about Project Wingman. Once again, it's on Unreal Engine, okay? A lot of Namco Bandai games now are on Unreal Engine, and that makes it so they can have it on multiple platforms. The Unreal Engine, everybody knows how powerful, how portable, how great that engine is, and how many features they continue to add on it. Every generation starts off with a demo of the Unreal Engine at GDC or whatnot, right? So you can't tell us these lies once again that they were having problems with the Unreal. That's the best excuse y'all came up with? Once again, it was what we already knew. You stole Microsoft's money to go and invest it in other projects that, of course, because you're a mid-tier developer at best anyway, you cocked those ones up anyway, and you wasted all of that money. No one's gonna trust you. You can sit here and apologize and say all this crap every couple of months. No one cares about you, Platinum. You had your chance, and you effed it up long ago. Okay? At first, you just did it to Microsoft, right? And it's just like, who cares about Microsoft? All that competition is Japanese. Everybody thinks the Japanese run the gaming industry, and it doesn't really matter. Who cares that the Japanese screwed over the American company? Ha ha ha. Who's laughing now? Who's begging who now? You got what you deserve, Platinum. You got what you deserve. Make a good game with your own money, and don't lock it to a Nintendo platform, okay? Learn that Unreal Engine that you're saying you have a problem with, because everybody else seems to know what they're doing with it. Get your act together. You did this to yourselves. Make good games that people want to play, that are actually good, worthy of the praise your name got for no reason. Put in some work. Maybe we'll care about you, because for now we don't, and we see through your lies. That's all I got to say.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm gonna co-sign all that. I'm gonna co-sign all that because I'm not holding back. I usually hold back. I try to be diplomatic. I'm not holding back on this. And I apologize in advance when I'm gonna go in, but there's other people here and there's guests, so I gotta be
I'm not apologizing for nothing I say.
No, I'm not apologizing for anything that I'm gonna
and not
say.
that of GRG or anyone else. Those are my opinions, and I'm not changing them.
I am not going to be apologetic for anything that I say. I normally kind of keep it, even keel, but not on this one. But let me go ahead. Let me go to D. Oh, I'm going to talk to trust that. But D, I'm going to go to you.
No, I'm here for the mess.
You just here for the mess. Oh, so you say skip? You say skip you? Okay, you just want to hurry up and get
I ain't got no.
Okay, all right.
I ain't got no stake in this.
So maybe our guests can calm me down because I'm already hyped right now. So. I'm gonna go to you on this for Crispy. Crispy, you better calm me down because if not, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to roll. I'm about to roll.
Bombs are gonna get dropped. Like, come on.
Okay, well, let's do it. Bombs over Baghdad, man. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Outcast song. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to clarify.
Let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this for a second, K Mega, bro.
Yeah,
dude, Xbox is irrelevant in many, if not most, gamers' eyes now. And they have done things with 2 IPs out of 3 that people talk trash about, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that. Oh, Forza, Halo, Gears. How many times we heard that in our lives?
There was a story
Okay,
about it.
it's been like 5 years now. All they got is Forza, Halo. Well, shit, Forza and Halo look pretty damn fucking good right now. I'm just saying. So Platinum's like, oh, what are we gonna do? You got Game Pass on top of that. They're like, oh, we could just drop this game and have eyes on it real quick, right? I mean, think about it. It's pretty simple. Like, even if they release like a halfway decent game, but it would never sell, they could go and be like, Microsoft, give us that money. So why not go and say, oh, we're sorry. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry we did this. You know what I mean? Like, dude, changing of the guard as well. Like people could look at a company and say, hey, certain people aren't there anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking at Microsoft as a relevant development company. Like, I can develop for this company and we can make money. And that's the whole damn point. And it's sad because I'll be honest with you, K-Mega, I really never talk about Scalebound because it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But I was kind of excited for it. I had this feeling that they could do something great. And if you look at what I've seen throughout this time until Phil canceled it, and then after, like the way they acted about it, it was a big joke. It really was. It was like, give me your money and we're going to use it for other stuff. And now they are not reaping the benefits. They are actually sitting there like, shit, like there's crap on my shoes and I can't get it off. They don't know what to do with it. They're like, we fucked over, now what people are considering like a great company to develop for, and we screwed them over. So, I mean, what else are you going to do? You have to apologize. And I'll give them credit. You got to suck it up sometimes. You got to say, hey, I was wrong. You know what? And the worst part for Platinum Games right now is you got to wait for Microsoft to be like, okay, you're all right now. You can come back in. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, dude, this is what blows my mind. Like, people are like, oh, Xbox is dead. Xbox can't make money. Dude, they don't even care. Dude, they're a $1 trillion company. You want to be in that ecosystem, they're going to let you in. And that's it. And that's the funny thing. Like, Outriders hasn't been removed from Game Pass, and it's coming out with a DLC, and it's going to be free on Game Pass. And it's going to be free everywhere else. Like, dude, like, you either play ball or you don't. And that's their choice, and they apologize. So I'll give them credit for that. But, I mean, they really screwed up. I mean, the whole thing I've seen from what transpired, especially afterwards, especially the way they acted, you know what I mean? Like, Platinum Games, they screwed up. Like, I don't care. Like, Phil is a gamer, man. He wants to bring new experiences to people. And for him to cancel that's them. That's not him. He was like, I'm done with this.
No doubt. All right. Okay, so that's two. That still ain't changing my perspective yet. It's up to you, Ham Solo.
I ain't fucking changing your opinion on this shit.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Bro,
okay.
Come on, man.
Spit the flame.
Bro.
My boy Blue.
Spit the flame.
Bro.
Spit the flame.
Bro, dude, for real, man. They done took my checkbook and then asked to sit at my dinner table. Get the fuck up out of here, bro.
Oh, hell
no. Bro, you're right. Think about that.
You should have the Funkmaster Flex bombs earlier, too.
Oh, my God. Like, I mean, let's go.
We will use the old ways.
Like, we scrapping. We scrapping. You gonna do that to
Like, how can you ever go back on something like that? Like, I mean, I mean, if I was a business like Microsoft and I just got done dirty like that, I would maybe eventually let you come back, but I'll let you suffer for a little while, make you look stupid. I mean, you just made yourself look stupid by coming out and saying this. But the thing, but the thing about it, the way he went about it, was he was going to let Microsoft just kind of take all the blame for everything. Oh, this is a sinking ship. And you know what? My hands are tied. I'm out.
They did. Microsoft got all that blame and clowning that all that time.
Yeah.
They still do a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's going to definitely be people that will blame Microsoft till the end of time because they just don't want to read nothing. They don't want to figure nothing out. They don't want to do the research for it. They just hate your system, so they're going to talk their shit. It's just what they do. I mean, you see it on both sides, but I mean, some people are much more vicious than others. And I've definitely, I don't know if it has to do with the people I follow or whatnot, but I see a lot of people starting to ease up on Xbox right now. They're easing up. Oh, Halo looks good. Oh, Forza looks good. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the gunk is looking like Kana. Like I'm hearing all kinds of shit that you just didn't hear last year. And you got people, you got people, I'm not going to call out any names right now, but you got people backpedaling, trying to find the issue with anything.
The way back in.
They're trying to find the issue with anything. And straight up, I mean, they're going into the game, making sure that, you know, YouTube is on 720, taking a screenshot and then zooming in 50 times. Like they're doing the most to try to discredit something from being great instead of
and
just
all it does is discredit themselves all that further because it's just so absurd. Everybody sees it now too. Man, was low key before.
Man, all I know is it's been like a festival of watching people just lose it in Twitter as of lately. And like, to be real, it's mostly coming from the PlayStation dudes because they ain't got a whole lot to look forward to. They ain't got a whole lot to brag about as of right now. Just as of right now.
Yeah, right.
They're coming out on February and they got a hot, they got a hot playlist and I'm excited for it. I got a PS5. I'm ready to get down. But what I'm not going to do, what I'm not going to do is trash on a game company that's doing just fine or that has the ability to do good. So all these people stepping on invisible necks, thinking that they're doing the Lord's work out here and saying, oh man, look at this picture. This is terrible. Oh, look at the reflections and talking about all this stuff that 99.9% of the people will never look at, will never care about, just to try to downplay something just so it plays into their narrative so they can keep their followers, hungry. I mean, it's just outrageous. But going back to Scalebound, this was literally, Kamiya, is that right? Kamiya?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Kamiya trying to save face all the way up until he sees those pockets getting thick. And just like watching your cousin go into the NFL, you like, bro, I see you on now. Can you hook a brother up? That's the position that he's in right now. He's in the position of, oh man, y'all balling now. Like, I mean, I was willing to take you for what you got, but now I see you got security, you got crazy money, you got a nice house, you live in lavish now. I want to be up there with you. If I was Microsoft, I'd be like, bro, you're gonna have to chill at the gate for a minute. I might get back to you if I'm interested, but y'all better come to the table with y'all shit already taken care of. I ain't giving y'all no money. Y'all better figure it out on yourselves. Yep. Come to me and I'll hook you up then, and we'll see where it goes from there.
First,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta be daddy, bro. You gotta be daddy sometimes, you motherfuckers.
You gotta be first dibs on the best, and I'm not investing nothing. Yup, that's exactly how they need to do it.
Yeah. And so, all right. Okay, so let me read the super chat from Sir X-Man. I did see it, brother. I did not forget it. I just was waiting for everybody else, and then I was going to get to it. But back to the very first topic, this is where this was from. He said, the truth is, if he was black, he would have been gone. And listen, I understand that some people might say, well, blah, 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 blah. Listen, sometimes you just got to call things out the way that you see it. And he would have been gone. But saying, listen, I'm more angry at the fact that the man is standing his ground for something that's negative than at least saying, oh, these things aren't true. I don't think there's been one time when he said, oh, these allegations ain't true. These are lies. I don't think he's ever said anything like that. I think he just kept quiet and just keeping letting this whole situation just blow up and escalate. And if that means, and when you got problems, I understand that there's some people, because I've had, Don will sit here and talk to me about some certain things. Other people would talk to me about certain things, about what goes on in the industry. And I understand you can't police everything. But if there's issues that are so deep rooted, then it goes to the top. And if it gets, if it doesn't get to the top, then you need to fire the people that doesn't let that information get to you. And then on top of that, you need to pay attention more to your job than doing whatever that you're doing. So, yeah, I just look at this situation and I take offense to it, because nobody, and I mean nobody, it doesn't matter what color, what sexuality you are, whatever, should be in an environment where they feel harassed. It's too far. We're too far in society, and we're too knowledgeable to know better. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't Mad Men. We're just in a better situation. But thank you for the super chat, Sir X Man. Okay, so back to my man from Platinum Games. I remember watching a video of him and some other developers. He was drunk, and he was throwing shade, because I think it was Nier Automata that won awards, and he got and Platinum Games was on the map, and now he's got other works that they're doing, and they had other stuff, projects that's in the works. And as a matter of fact, they have a PlayStation game that's going to be coming out, PlayStation 5 game that's going to be I don't know if it's going to be timed or if it's going to be exclusive, that's going to be coming out. So they had work, and then they also had they had other games out there and everything else. And he come out there, he's holding the cup, and he's saying, "Oh, Microsoft, let me get Scalebound back." Because you know why? At that time, Xbox was not in the greatest, was not as popular. It's popular, but it was down. So he felt like it was all right to throw shade, because that's all that was. You can't sit here and stand with a whole bunch of other developers and talk shit, and then next thing you know, you say, "Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and get that game again." Y'all over here don't have no games. Y'all suffering as people use this narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's good to kick on somebody when they down. But then something happened. And that is, they tried to get too slick with what they were doing. The games that came out after Nier Automata didn't sell well. So then what did they try to do? They asked for a Kickstarter. They had so much damn clout. They came with so much clout. They said, "Oh, hey, we're a developer that makes big published games and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes maybe, you know what I'm saying? We are people that are well off. And we're going to ask you to pay for an old game through Kickstarter." I think that's when the writing was on the wall for everybody. And that right there was your downfall. Not when he was calling people cockroaches on Twitter. If you don't believe me, go to Twitter. Go to that man's name and go check out his Twitter and just type in cockroach, because he was calling people cockroaches. He's like, "I'm going to block you cockroaches for over here harassing me about Scalebound, or harassing me about this game, or y'all are cockroaches. Y'all beneath me." Now your ass is over here trying to beg for a pass, because now that money is dried up. Not too many people are coming to you for your games, because as Six said, really, your games has been mid-level, son. It ain't been popping like that. And the only reason why Nier Automata was popping was because you used Microsoft's money for it. Stop fraud. And when I tell people that, people thought I was bullshit. People thought I was lying. People thought I was no. You just making that up because you an Xbox. No, man. It's right there, simple as day.
Writing's on the wall.
Writing is on the wall. Why would you do this? Like, why would you? But you know what? That's the whole thing. They must have been listening or paying attention to whoever that they're paying attention to. It's like Xbox is on their last leg. They're about to be done. Microsoft is going to be begging everybody for something because they are in a bad position. So they wanted to throw shade. Now look at them. You know, there's a saying that God doesn't like ugly. And you reap what you sow. And I know some people be saying, "Oh, Mega, this is just gaming." No, there's layers to this. You know what I'm saying? When you have a working relationship with somebody,
this is big business.
Yeah,
one of the biggest industries around. Let's not forget that.
Just think about this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just think about this from this perspective. Somebody comes to you, you trust, or you trust them enough to say, "Hey, I need some work for you. I need something done from you," and you give them your hard-earned money. You know what I'm saying? I understand that this ain't from Phil Spencer's pocket. This is from Microsoft. Microsoft's a big, huge conglomerate. But let's just put this in perspective.
He was responsible for that money.
Yeah, he's responsible
even
for that
back
money.
then.
Right. And so then you go and you say, "Oh, okay, I trust this person to do this," and you go to them, and then they haven't got it done. Then they come and they make excuses to say, "I got mental stress. I mentally can't handle this. I'm not feeling right. I got to take time away." So you leave, take time off. The team, if they don't know how to work Unreal Engine, which it seems fan, you know, it trips me out just to hear somebody say that, but
they've made games on Unreal Engine before. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up.
It's a lie.
But hold on, but even if it was right, like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Why are you going through so much mental stress? Well, if for one thing, you got so many games on your plate because you're trying to use this Microsoft money to make things, and you thought that Microsoft would play dumb, and, oh, well, this costs a little bit more than what it was supposed to cost. And then on top of that, we're going to go ahead and what we're going to do? Microsoft got so much money, they ain't going to miss it. So, hold on. I'll come to them and I'll say, "Look, we put this money in these assets into these games over here. So what we gonna do? We're gonna have Microsoft just give us some more bread, and then we can finish up on the game." You know what I'm saying? They'll accept the delay, but Phil sit there and threw him through a ringer like, "No, man, shit is due. We got people out here that's expecting Xbox to deliver. This is a big, huge project." You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing this narrative that Xbox has no games, Xbox ain't doing this, Xbox ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sit there and sell my CEO on Game Pass. I'm trying to do everything possible to try to get Xbox into the right direction. And I'm trying to have people to sell. I'm trying to sell people on the Xbox One X, a $500 console. And what did you do? You sit there and high-side it and play games and then put this man in this position. And you know what? Big kudos to Phil Spencer for playing the high road. Because if I was the CEO, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it if I was the head of Xbox. I think I would have threw some shade. That man been causing some problems. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm like, bro. But you know what? Because what Phil did, he did it the right way. And now look at it. Oh, it's our fault. We didn't know how to use the Unreal Engine, and there was these issues and those issues, and this was the biggest game that we ever worked on. And you know what? That's what's that right there. If anything, that was the straw that broke the camel's back with the second party and the third party development stuff. And then that's what Phil said, "Fuck this. We're gonna buy shit. We're gonna acquire." Hell with what Crytek's talking about. Remedy's tripping. Insomniac is playing footsies. We don't know what they're trying to do. And we go in here, we try to deal with a Japanese developer because we're really trying to invest into Japanese gaming for people who love Japanese games on this platform. And this is another thing why I'm so pissed off. You treat people like me that has been supporting brands like that from Japan like, oh, they just Xbox gamers. They're Americans. They don't give a fuck. Like, I can't believe it. I can't.
Man, you know what's funny, dude? Like, a lot of people don't realize I've watched for 2 years Dragon Ball Z, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, it takes one. So hypothetically, like, I'm not into the Japanese genre as much as some people, but I also play games like Tenchu: Wrath of Heaven. I played games that are full on, like, literally I had to read subtitles. Okay, so don't sit here and act like I don't care. And that's the crazy thing. Like they acted like just because you're on Xbox you don't care, and that's fucked up.
That's the narrative. The narrative was winning last gen heavily, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is what bothered me more than anything, is that they just let that ride. Yeah, so what? You know, it's just Xbox, right? Like, I mean, that's the only way that you can perceive it.
Hey, Ken Mega, you know what all this actually is? This is all Crow coming home to roost. Both these topics, really.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like, that's the thing. Well, this is why this irks me so much. Now you want to come because Xbox is slapping right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if Xbox wasn't doing this, I don't think we would have heard anything from him. But because Xbox is making big ass moves, Game Pass is making
his second attempt.
Yep. And you know what? I mean, I'm not Phil Spencer, of course. The man, you know what I'm saying? The man can do whatever he wants to. And if he feels that Platinum Games could make it work, and you know what I'm saying, to come and deliver, if they try to bring Scalebound, but I don't think Scalebound will ever see the light of day. Ever. I think that's just Phil just saying, I'm not touching it, man. I'm not. And that's something that I, as a gamer that was anticipating this game, when Randar Thor told me, I'm not even gonna lie to you, that broke my heart, because I was anticipating that game so much. I was like, that is the game that I just want to play. I don't care if it's buggy at first, if it goes and it works later on. I just want to play. That is exactly what's in my wheelhouse. And to see because of being just making every excuse in the world. And what also made it worse is that there was these fanboys out here trying to justify it. Well, look, if he was having a mental stress, if he was doing this, if he wasn't feeling, no, he put too much on his plate. This is the biggest. He said this in the article. He said this in his own words. This was the biggest project that Platinum Games has ever worked on. But you're more willing to sit there and to cater to PlayStation, only asking for your second handouts of, not even PlayStation not even investing in you and like that. Nintendo is investing in you because of Bayonetta. Think about that. Like, PlayStation is only asking for a AA or indie type of title. They're not investing big time money into you. And then when Xbox is giving you the biggest title that anybody that's listening now or later, if somebody people on the panel, if somebody comes and asks you, say, man, I got a project that I want you to work on, and then you find out that this is the biggest thing that you've ever worked on in your life, what are you going to do? You're going to put everything else to the side. Oh no, there's too much paper on here. There's too much. This could have been a game that they could have done really well to take them to the higher tier levels of Japanese developers, or even just great developers overall. Because I don't think Platinum Games is a bad developer, but I think that the ideology over there is all screwed up. So again, I did hold back. I didn't want to. I didn't want to, but I don't want to do a lot of cussing and stuff like that. But I think that they're full of bullshit. I think it's sad that all these years later, because it's not going to, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to make a difference because nobody's going to give Phil or Microsoft their flowers behind it because the people will just make whatever excuses that they want to. But to listen to this man come out and say this, and then after I seen what he calling people cockroaches, and then he's acting cocky and he's over here trying to be cute and I got the juice. Now your ass is over here. Platinum Games is not doing as well as people think. And Tencent's over there looking at your ass like, yeah, we're just gonna be patient because we know that you're gonna be ready to sell here in a little bit. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I did want to talk about that. Do anybody else want to address what I said, or do y'all just want to move on? I had to just break that down though. That just pissed me off. Oh godly.
Stop. He's already dead.
Okay.
He's gassed already, bro.
All right.
I do want to make a small point. So
Double tap time.
Just to kind of build on the analogy of like, somebody wants you to do a project for them.
Yeah.
If you're saying like, yo, this is the biggest project I've ever done, you're, somebody who's willing to take on the challenge is going to put 110%.
Right.
But somebody who cares and respects your relationship would also be like, you know what? I want you to get what you're expecting. This is too big. I can't do it. Right. That's what I would like. You know what I'm saying? Because there have been times like, oh, can you do this? Like, you got to know your strengths and limitations. So to know that you couldn't do it, but you still took the upfront fee, that's just something else to munch on.
And then they ask for more time and more money. They ask for more time and more money. That's documented in articles. He asked for more money and more time after he had a deadline, but he wanted to take months off because he was too stressed. Yeah, no, bro. No. You know what I'm saying? If there's not another deal between Platinum Games and Xbox to go forward, I wouldn't blame Xbox, period. You know what I'm saying? I understand that relationships needs to go deeper and you have to think, and you got to think better. But for me to think about somebody to be as disrespectful as they were and to take that to those levels as though, this brand is wasn't anything, then, it's really telling. So, for him to be humble, something's wrong.
If I seen his name on, something like Craigslist or something like that, that'd be one of those spam block that dude, because homeboy showed up at somebody's house, promised him a roof, took the money and dipped.
Something's wrong, man. Something's wrong. For him to come out now, all these years, something's wrong. Yes. Something's changed. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. I don't know the personal. I don't know the man personally, so I'm not going to even go there. I'm just saying something has changed for him to come out and say it, and I think it's deeper than just the Xbox is now is starting to roll. You know what I'm saying? And that they're quite listen.
It started months ago. The first time he did it, there's something afoot. This is just his second attempt.
And what a lot of people don't know is that Xbox is getting so many offers for them to be from studios that want to be acquired by them. That is a fact. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard this from multiple people that would know. And because,
let's not get the hate in the chat. No.
What happened? Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying. I feel it. I feel the storm coming right now.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, it's just, Anthony Chipmunk said the bike game. That was Riders Republic. Riders Republic is fantastic, man. It's a really good game. So anyway, let's move on. I held back. I thought I wasn't, but I did because I didn't.
I'm sorry. I have one more point. I'm sorry. Just real small.
Please.
I'm sorry. It also speaks to me personally, I mean, I wasn't looking forward to the game, but to hear what you guys are saying, it also speaks to the character and the dignity to see Microsoft being hung out to dry,
Right.
and now a console generation later to apologize. I find that kind of like crummy.
Yeah, no, I find that real crummy. Right,
that speaks to the character of the person to be like, to see. I mean, the internet spreads quickly, so you saw like, oh, Microsoft, da 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 da. For you to wait till now and not get behind it in real time.
He gets no pass for apologizing. You apologize years too late.
Right.
Years too late.
Swimming.
Yeah,
nah.
It was crazy because others, when people left Platinum Games, they apologized. It said it came out and gave their reasoning behind what happened. But old dude still didn't. And then he let Xbox take that heat for at least 2-3 years. And then I think he may have said something, or somebody from Platinum, a representative or something, came out and they said, oh yeah, it was bad. We feel bad. We still want to work with Microsoft, things like that, the PR talk. But yeah, but then after that, that's when he was standing there, because I was going to make a video about it. And then I pushed back because I'm like, I'm going to get a lot of hate about this, because I wasn't going to, me, I'm not going to say nothing too crazy, but I was going to act a fool about it, because I'm like, look at this shit. This is not even, this isn't professional. And then I was already reading the tweets and everything else. So anyway.
Not very.
Yeah. So anyway, so I mean, look, somebody in the chat made a great point. Like, there's a lot of other Japanese developers out there that Xbox could have a partnership with, or they could try to acquire instead. And I'm all for that. I am all for that. So yeah, we just got to just move on from it. But it's sad though overall. So let's get back and move back up, and let's go to the Forza Horizon 5 topic. Okay, so it has 10 million players in a week, and it's not nominated for Game of the Year. Now, I will say this because I was on Crossfire and Jeff Grubb was talking, and he said he was one of the voters for the VGAs. And so his explanation was, well, it's a lot of politics, and for people that, what? Huh?
Politics, that's code word for shenanigans in my mind.
Yeah. No doubt.
Okay.
But he said, but Jeff Grubb said there was a lot of politics. And the one thing of why, when people would bring up about Death Stranding, Kojima did something completely different that no other studio has done. And Kojima gave his game to everybody that was a part that could vote on the game. So therefore, if there was another game, let's just say Star Wars The Fallen Order, that got passed over because Kojima gave his game out first, or he gave his game out first for people to play so they could rate it, right? And so then he also said, look, it's a racer. It's going to be a lot harder for a racer to get nominated for Game of the Year, and it's not the game's fault, but the people that's there, they write for what they write and what they mostly have played are single player driven games. So that's why you see that the majority of those games is mostly always up for Game of the Year. So, legitimate point, that's fine. So, for the things that I just said, and for the reason why Forza still got snubbed, do you take that? Do you co-sign that, or do you still have an issue with it? I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna go to you on this one, Solo. Ham Solo, what do you think, man? Do you think what because Jeff Grubb just told me this before the show, so on Crossfire, and so because I asked him this question, I asked him that question about, like, so why, and I just gave everything, his explanation of everything. Are you buying it? Do you still think that it's still wrong? It's still not right, or it is just business as usual because it is a lot of politics involved? Ham Solo, you there?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So to be honest, I mean, I'm kind of gonna go a weird direction with this.
Okay.
So so they can make all the excuses that they want for why it didn't get it. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I can barely give Game Awards credibility just for the fact that they don't really seem very organized. They don't really see, and they also don't seem very like very transparent at all either. Like, who has an award? Could you imagine having the Super Bowl before the season was over? That's the way I kind of look at it. Like the year isn't even over yet. I said this in a tweet a couple days back.
I didn't get a chance to ask him that question. I should have, but I don't think that he would have to have the answer to that, because that's a Jeff Keighley question.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, why don't we have something that can, like, you know, like, really solidify a game of the year? Why are we having it in the same year that the game came out? Like, I feel like it should be like in February or March or something like that, where each game can come out, show what they got, and really put it on the table, give people some time so they can actually put the right games where they need to be, instead of it being like, because I feel like Forza came out right at the last second and everybody's rushing to get in there, and, you know, everyone's having a really good time, and, oh no, it's not on the Game Awards, and there's 10 million excuses as to why. And it's just like, I feel like a lot of basic things would be solved if they gave a little bit more time for this stuff to marinate and figure out what's really what and what's just hype for a quick moment. Because if Forza still has like 10, 15, 20, whatever million players all the way up and through February, how can you deny it?
I mean, the game is incredible, so.
Now, Christopher Hart, I ain't seen you in a while, but truth be told, no.
It was not too late to the party, Jeff. Forza said so on Twitter.
Something that I've never seen before. Metacritic came out themselves and said the deadline is the 19th of November. So,
dude,
it wasn't it. No, go ahead.
Just
wrong,
look at
Christopher.
Just look at what J-Rock posted. Okay, like he literally he melded everything together, and I don't always agree with the guy, but he asked legitimate questions, and people responded, and then Jeff Keighley responded, which was interesting. I was surprised. He actually kind of went into the weeds, as we like to call it. He was like, I'm going to say this, but he kept contradicting himself in some way, shape, or form. It's like, oh, well, there's no, like, it's within the nomination date and everything else. And, you know, then he didn't go out and say, like, hey, like, this person posted the wrong thing. He didn't go and do that. He went and said, like, just mostly PR talk. And I'm like, the Game Awards are about games. We play games, okay? Like, not every person plays the same game. I understand that. But you have 10 million as of now people playing one single game. And people want to ignore the fact that Halo's beta just came out. So think about that for a second. It actually increased because Xbox is like, you know what? We could put out a racer and we could put out a first-person shooter because they're two different genres, okay? Completely different. And I have problems at times being like, which one am I going to play today? Keep in mind, I am a Gears player. Think about that, okay? what they did is they said, okay, the highest rated game this year is not eligible. That's what I see.
Right.
And I only see that because there is one thing that is constant throughout the Game Awards existence, which I believe is 2014. It's not one single Xbox exclusive made by Xbox Studios has never been nominated, and it has not. You can go and look it up. If it is exclusive to Xbox, it's not there.
Well, Halo
Okay.
won. Halo won, but that was a long time ago.
No, this I'm talking about 2014 is when this
yeah,
this Game Awards.
Because is that when Jeff Keighley took over?
No. This is actually, it started with Spike. Jeff was,
Spike TV.
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe he was. This is when the Game Awards is the Game Awards we know now.
Yeah.
And
Before it was the Spike.
and
Before,
you have,
it was just on Spike TV. Yeah.
I'm not saying like you got your Outer Worlds 2, you got things, like right now, like Deathloop, like, you know what I mean? Like, but they're not exclusive, completely exclusive to Xbox. And this is the one opportunity the Game Awards, as we know now, had to say, you know what? You ain't gonna get no hate if you put this at least nominated as Game of the Year. And you can only play it on Xbox, Game Pass, platform, ecosystem, whatever. You know what I mean? And regardless of that, you think about it, you can technically play it on Steam. So why is there so much like illogicalness? Like, hey, the peers that he calls, he says, like, this is like journalists and everything else. Well, these journalists
Crispy, real quick.
rated
Listen,
Forza as the highest rated game as of now. I mean, at this point, we're not at the point where we're done, right? And then people were like, oh, it didn't hit the cutoff date. Well, if I remember correctly, the cutoff date was exactly,
today.
It was like the 6th.
No, it's today.
No, today.
They had early access.
The cutoff
It's
day
today.
is today.
Oh, but the people who voted
So
had
there you
early
go.
access. Had
Right.
early access.
There you
Hold on,
go.
hold
Right.
on.
I posted it in the chat.
Yeah, well, and Jeff Grubb confirmed that as well. What was you going to say? Well, first, Slayer, what was you going to say? And then
Oh,
Dee
sorry.
after that.
sorry.
What
Well,
you gonna
because
say,
Crispy
Slayer?
had said something about it doesn't make sense to him. And this is something I always answer when people ask why things don't make sense. Things that don't make sense like this aren't supposed to make sense because they don't. It's what it is. It's clear biases and stuff. That's why it doesn't add up to make sense. It's not supposed to add up to make sense when you're doing bullshit behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah, we're picking their favorite game of the year, not ours.
Ours, right.
Right, and then also it's something. And Dee, I'll come to you too to get what you were going to say. But one thing that Jeff Grubb also said too tonight was that look, Phil is on the board as well, and it just doesn't seem like Phil just gives a damn because of the fact that the game is doing so well. Like it's and I see other Zink saying this, and it makes sense as well. That these are basically, I wouldn't say Jeff Keighley's awards, but they are the writers, and it's their awards. When he made that point of saying, like, because I asked him this question because I'm not stressing on it, of course, but I've been thinking about this, and then now since he said that he was one of the voters, I wanted to know. Okay, so after Overwatch won. And then Phil Spencer and the CEO at I can't remember who the CEO was at EA that brought up the thing about single player games and how they have to make different changes because they're not as quote unquote relevant because people aren't playing them because these games are bigger and people aren't they're playing them but they're not beating them. And that
And
kind of
then
gives
Jedi Fallen Order. Then
right,
Jedi Fallen Order happened. Yeah.
right, and then also you got but let's not forget Annie Henning and then Mark Cerny. They also said the same thing. They didn't go into the full details saying single player experiences weren't important, but they also said, and I've said this numerous times, that they had a conference explaining what there's changes that needs to happen within single player games because people aren't completing these games. These developers are spending all this time and money and trying to make the best experience that they can, and people aren't completing it. And so therefore, when you hear that, Phil and them say make this statement, then I asked them, did the media kind of go crazy and get into this gridlock of saying, well, we got to prove that single player games are important, and so therefore Overwatch was was just an aberration. We got to make sure that all through the rest of this generation, the single player driven game is at the forefront, and they are the biggest title. And his comment back to me was, well, you know how at the Oscars, things like that, they only go for a certain type of movie. They won't go for any type of movies, which I agree with that. But I wanted to say something, but it was a pretty big panel, so I didn't conclude what I was going to say, but I'm going to say it now. But even the Oscars made changes because for movies that people couldn't stand to be in the even consideration, even these movies are now starting to win awards like Black Panther and In Games winning awards and things like that. Now, what I'm saying, I don't know if, I don't pay attention to the Oscars that deeply, but they're at least getting recognized. To not see Forza get recognized is only a political situation, which makes this so tainted to me. So just go ahead. I just wanted to make that point. So for anybody else that had any other point, and I'll get to your super chat, Friendly Blue Shell. Thank you so much here in a second. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've said a lot about. No, I'm sorry, D. I'd said a lot about other things, but you were still talking.
Yeah, go ahead, D.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't see. You guys were referring to a message in the chat, and I can't see it. But you guys clarified that the date is today. That was the deadline. Even if you didn't know the date was today, which I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know till the middle of the show either. Yeah.
What pisses me off about people, and I hate to say this, is where they're just like, oh, they missed the deadline, whatever, they missed the deadline. That lets me know that you didn't actually look at the categories, because Forza Horizon 5 is nominated for other categories. They can't miss the deadline for Game of the Year if they have 2 other nominations. So it wasn't the deadline. Let's just start there. So you have to look at what the reasoning behind it is, why you're ignoring a game that's getting accolades across the board. Because when people were saying that the deadline had been missed, I'm like, why am I still seeing it nominated then if that's the case? I mean, kind of like what Megan was saying about the Oscars and such, I kind of go into things where it's just like, it's all politics at this point. Mm-hmm. People that play Forza Horizon 5, all 10 million of them, aren't going to find less enjoyment because it's not nominated. I feel like it's written on the wall and plain as day, what's taking place. But y'all already know what it is. Because I couldn't believe when Last of Us 2 damn near swept every other category.
Swept?
A year ago.
Ghost of Tsushima was the better game. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, it's all opinionated, but Ghost of Tsushima was a way more better game in my opinion.
I felt like that was kind of the catalyst moment. I was just like, oh, this has nothing to do with what the actual people like. Does that make sense? That was the moment where I realized. Yep. I was just like, wait, this is the game. I'm not okay. So I haven't played it, but given the temperature and the environment when that game came out, even people like it was PlayStation fan against PlayStation fan. They were just like, nah, shit, this is bullshit. People were just going hard in the paint. I was just sitting back with my popcorn like, yo, the house of cards is crumbling. What's going on here?
And the drama that was surrounding Last of Us 2 before and after and during release.
So for it to sweep, I was like, oh, all right. You know, and it does remind me of the Oscars a little bit, because I remember back in like 2017, 2018, when Get Out was nominated for Best Comedy. And anybody that has seen Get Out,
bruh,
I'm not sure.
It's not even a horror movie. It's a commentary. Like, really? Comedy? Wow. I didn't even hear about that one.
They put it for comedy. And that's when I was just like, oh, y'all playing in my face. Because what was that, crumbs? I don't understand. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, you want the medium that's the most deserving to be acknowledged, right? So you feel like the game that has, you know, the merit should be recognized, the movie, the album, all those things. But at the end of the day, there's money changing hands one way or the other, as we've seen in multiple facets of life, and it's going to be out of our hands, unfortunately. I think there was a lot of politics with it, but I'm not surprised. I'm not even disappointed. So I can't even say disappointed but not surprised, because it is what it is. It was like Crispy said. It's like, as soon as there is something that Xbox is doing, Microsoft is doing, there's already subconsciously a stain against it. And be like, no, they can talk outside of their neck all they want to, but it's subconscious at this point. It has been ingratiated and indoctrinated for the last 7 to 8 years. And I don't think people are aware of it, which is kind of not their fault, but kind of is. But, you know, but.
Go look at it. Go look at it real quick. There's not one single only on Xbox exclusive made by them that has ever been nominated. You know, the only one that was only on Xbox was Titanfall 2, by the way.
Now, hold on. Check this out. I'm looking at this, and I'm going by the user score just because, you know.
Oh, boy.
On Metacritic, and I hate bringing all this stuff up, but this is just, we're having fun. We're not going to have a show next week because of the holiday, so let's just have some fun with it. Okay, The Last of Us 2 got a 93 Metacritic score, right?
Oh, Golden Globe, I'm sorry.
The user score is a 5.7 with 156,226 people that went off on that bad boy. Now, again, there are some people out there that doesn't have good intentions. There are some Xbox stands out there that was over there throwing zeros out there. That is not excusable. I will not, you know what I'm saying? I don't like it for when it's done for Xbox games. This game was not a zero. This game was not bad at all. It was a good game. No doubt. But it wasn't Ghost of Tsushima. But again, proof is in the pudding. Now, let's just go to a well-beloved / hated game on Xbox. Halo 5, as you can see that gameplay. Metacritic score 84, user score 6.4. Now, there's not as many people. There's only 3,497 people, and it's not in the Metacritic score. There's not as many people that it was on because that just kind of shows you that they weren't throwing out a lot of copies to critics, out there. So which now, since what Jeff Grubb has brought up, is now got me to understand that what Microsoft should be doing is throwing out a lot of free copies to certain people, and because they're not getting these free copies, they're making Microsoft be punished. Think about that for a second. Like, now, Jeff Grubb didn't say it that way, but that's how I took it. Well, he's like, well, because Kojima did something that has never been done before and threw his game out to everybody that was in the committee so they could play it, and then that game got put in the slot. Now, I did say, so where did he learn that skill from? because he's real good friends with Jeff Keighley, right? And listen, I'm not trying to beat on Jeff Keighley. Listen, Jeff Keighley seems like to be a fine person.
I will.
I know you will.
I will. On just facts.
I'm not. I don't want Jeff Keighley. I want Jeff Keighley to be put out the picture on this, right? But I'm just putting this in perspective. Like, who would have told him Kojima to do that? Because no other studio has done that before. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just say this, K?
Yeah, go ahead. Go say it.
Jeff Keighley is a fanboy. He's a fanboy.
He's a fanboy.
Okay,
that's what it is.
I'm not gonna say here. Look, he has done a great. Like, I truly, enjoy watching the Game Awards, but every time Xbox has something to show, he screws up in some way, which is like, it's like, oh, I'm going to step on your throat. And I think the response from, I get it. Like, some people are like, you guys are just bitching or whatever. Like, the response from, Halo is not going to get nominated. We already knew that. It's coming out after. We already understood that. You know what I mean? Like, nobody was talking about Halo, which is weird because most people are like, yo, this beta is great. Like, it should be nominated. Like, some dumbass is going to say that. Be like, no, we already knew it wasn't going to happen. But Forza already, like, captured hearts. Like, I've never seen, to be honest. Like, to me,
it reminded me of Overwatch, how it just kind of hit just out of the blue like that.
And you know what's crazy is I feel like they made racing so easy. If you shut off everything, you go to the lowest difficulty, my God, you could just sit there. The AI will break for you, bro. It will break for you. You understand that? Like, there's a lot of people that hate racing because they have to think about all this stuff. And like how am I gonna hit this apex? How am I gonna do this? I give you all credit, but I dropped down to the lowest difficulty just because I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy the absolute ridiculousness of them mapping like Mexico, over like years. It was just insane. And they basically used GPS and drones and everything else, and it just looked incredible. And I was like, what? And then I tried to race while I'm like staring at stuff, like, on the other side. I'm like, wow, this really looks incredible. And they just made it happen. They're just like, okay, you could drop it down to the lowest, or you can change your driving settings and everything else. Like, you could have, it doesn't break for you, but still have the same, like, driving assist and everything else. Like, you could have all those things. You can change it the way you want. And I was like, wow, like, because really at the end of the day, at least for the first few parts, you're just like, I just want to see what, I'm getting into. And I think that's why people keep, it keeps climbing, which is crazy. And it's like,
and Halo,
I haven't seen
too.
this.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
Well, Halo's different. You know what I mean? Like, Forza.
Well, no, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, you would think the perception would be, okay, majority of Xbox gamers, they're, Halo and Xbox is synonymous. Forza's kind of a late groomer into the Xbox ecosystem. So you would think that people would kind of drop off and just go straight to Halo, but Forza is still maintaining and still growing. Yeah, you're right. Like, that's just nuts. That's just nuts.
And that's where I go and say, like, I love what they're doing, because you may not have played this game before, but you can find the way you want to play it. You know what I mean? And, those options, they really matter. Like, they really do, because, and I hope they do this with Gears as well, because, at the end of the day, like, you don't understand how the game plays, especially the multiplayer, which, I mean, you think about it, if we're talking about Halo multiplayer, and we're talking about Forza Horizon 5, which is primarily you could easily be in multiplayer within like a millisecond, or you're playing drivatars from people. Like it's crazy how they're doing it, and the beauty of it is, and I'm just gonna say this real quick, that these games are playing so much better with all this multiplayer involved than I've seen in years. Like we're talking like 360. Like I'll tell you, probably the best beta I've ever played for a game is Gears 3, but Halo just smashed that. Like smashed it. Like in a second. And I am not a first person. I K-Mega has carried my ass through Halo 5. The Don has done the same. And it's one of those things I was like, I feel like I could actually get good at this. And that means something to people. Like, you might sit there and be like, I'm a veteran Halo player, this shit's trash. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you've been playing for freaking 10 years? I'm cool with that. But for me, I was like, wow, this kind of plays like Halo 3. And that's the one Halo I've full on beat as soon as I played it. You know what I mean? I played it with somebody else, couch co-op. So that's what it felt like to me. That grapple shot is on another level. I would actually play a game with like multiple grapple shots just thrown down there. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm down for that.
We played some custom matches last night.
Snipers
and swords, and then we played rockets and skewers. It was crazy. But we gotta get to other guests to get that, because we got 2 more topics, and then we get out of here. And then I gotta read this from the Friendly Neighborhood Blue Shell, which has been a member for 13 months. Man, you know what? That's one thing that I haven't done. So, Blue Shell, hold on for 1 second. This is something that I have not done, and that's on me because I'm an asshole for that. And I apologize to everybody that is a member. I'm going to go through and read through this list. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the members. If you want to be a member, I'm gonna try to get some things going to where make it look all fancy and stuff, and make members look, really, 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 really important, like they are, because they are. But JB Cash, thank you so much. Castic Reaper, thank you. Tip His Son, the Friendly Neighborhood Blue Shell, the Blue, and Sleepy Goblin 2D. Man, thank you guys so much, man. I really do appreciate you guys being a member. If for the long time people in here, if you're not a member, want to support, please do that, man. That's really important. But anyway, let me read this. He said, I'm going to bring fire and brimstone on myself. Ratchet and Clank wins Game of the Year over the better Psychonauts 2. Listen, man, listen.
I don't think he actually means that, by the way.
No, he does. He does. And
because of the better game.
You know what I'm saying? No.
That was his words. That didn't make sense.
You don't think Psychonauts 2 is better than Ratchet and Clank?
I do, but then read what he said again. Then
I just said I'm going to bring fire and brimstone on myself. Oh, on himself. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Right. Yeah, you were taking it the opposite way.
Yeah. Don't do it to yourself. Yeah, don't do that. But
yeah.
Well,
that's not a good look.
He did do the fun look. So anyway, yeah. Well, don't burn your ass. You know what I'm saying? So you're a member. Anyway, but okay. But Ham Solo. Okay. To finish off this topic, man, what is your thoughts about this? That you've heard everything, got some information. I do, like I said, somebody else in the chat made a really good point, and I do agree with that. It's not so much about Jeff Keighley, it's a panel issue. I think that was Curie. So, do you agree with that? Or do you have a different thought process about this whole system, all this information that you just gathered tonight on this topic?
All right. Well, I totally think that, it's a panel issue for sure. I mean, like, you think about it, most of us got into gaming as fanboys. Some of us stay fanboys. Some of us start to like everything.
Yep.
You can't expect everyone to reveal themselves. So from what I'm seeing, I personally think it's definitely a snub, but no one's gonna give you the honest truth. Just like in any other situation, especially when we're talking about corporations or big business, like no one wants to tell you the truth. Nobody does. So like it just kind of is what it is. I don't put too much stake into the Game Awards. I can't. I mean, they never really grasp what the audience is asking for. So that's my quick answer on it.
Okay. All right. That's a really good point. All right. So let's go ahead and just move on. I think everybody is beat on a dead horse about the situation. Forza should have been nominated. The best solution is to do the show in January or February. And really,
there's something that real quick that I wanted to add, because actually I didn't go, but everybody said the things I was going to say anyway. But this is something new I thought of. This is something new I thought of. Basically, the Game Awards. The problem with the Game Awards and why we should care. I mean, yeah, 10 million plus people are playing, probably 11 or whatever by now. Yada yada yada. What does it really matter? This is the Game Awards, thusly named. Okay. It has an air of official, like this represents the gaming industry, because the Game Awards isn't just the award show we see. It's all these developers who get to hobnob and they dress up in this whole thing. It's a big deal for them behind the scenes. It's not just the show and the trailers that we get to see. So this does matter. For all those people who are asking, what does it matter if the game is so successful? It does matter. Because it's just like the Oscars and everything else. These things are corrupt, and it makes the whole situation look bad when you do stuff like this. When it's this obviously blatant, it's not even the first time. It's not even the first time.
Yeah, no.
Nor the last.
Yeah, no. When the last point was made, was just saying, look, these guys play these people play these certain type of games. That just kind of, that hit home with me, and I understood it. Like, look. It's odd because overall there's games that should be. This was a really great year for a lot of games that came out that had so much variety. You had smaller titles, you had big titles, you had, you had tweeners, and you had a different like set of just different games, and it just looks a lot. Just that list when you put Forza there. And it just looks like it's complete. Like, I mean, of course, there's some people that would say that they would rather have Returnal instead of Ratchet and Clank. But again, if you would replace, two
not
of
by
those
any
games,
logical metric. Not by any logical metric.
Well, I mean, I get it, but you know what I'm saying. But if you replace two of those games and put Returnal and put Forza Horizon 5 in that category, that list of category, it would have looked more like how people play their games. Like, I mean, it's just not like, it just would have showed that great diversity and it, I don't know. But okay. All right. So moving on, let's talk about Xbox's 20-year anniversary and what you thought about it. And you know what I'm saying, and what were some of the highlights that you guys thought about it? So I'm going to go straight to D on this one. What was the highlight for you, and what was something that stood out? And if you got anything that you want to say about Xbox, like when you first started playing on Xbox, give us some of those memories. Let us know a little bit about why Xbox is, a console that you will that is that maybe your primary console, and that you play on it. Why you play on it the most? Things like that.
So that's a loaded question. But a good one.
Okay.
I liked how they kind of set expectations. Well, okay. I guess on Twitter they did. Not everybody is on Twitter. I have to keep reminding myself. But I like how they were like, look, this is literally a celebration. Don't get y'all hopes up. So it was nice to kind of not have even though it would have been positive not to have that anxiety about what's coming next. You know, it was just a celebration, looking back on 20 years and where they messed up, the documentary. What I like, to be honest, the backwards compatibility announcement of the additional titles, only because I know people were like really, really wanting Max Payne 3, specifically. So to see it happen and the timeline go crazy was really cool, because I know a lot of people that were just like, Max Payne 3, like, where is it? And it wasn't just that, it was all of them. The timeline was hype. It was cool to see. So that was nice. 70 plus titles, you know, some titles getting frame boosts. People are going nuts for Sonic Generations. Like, it kind of revitalized those games that maybe people forgot about, couldn't bring with them, you know, this gen because of limitations. So that was pretty cool. You know, that was nice. You know, I have to share people's excitement, even if it doesn't affect me directly. And it was nice to kind of see the journey as well that Xbox has had thus far, at least that little tidbit of the documentary that's coming out. Xbox has been my main console for 10-ish years. No, it's more than that. It's 2009 was 12 years ago. Wow. It's 12 years ago. And the reason why I got the Xbox, I traded all my shit in to play Grand Theft. And I got it because it was $100, $160 versus getting a PS3 for like $300 or $400. And I was in college at the time. So I was like, I guess we gonna play Xbox because I don't have $300-$400 for a PS3. So through the years, making things kind of easier, making transitions easier, being able to share stuff to my cloud, which I couldn't do with my PlayStation, you know, share clips, screenshots, things like that. It wasn't all perfect. I think my 360, I got it for my birthday. So I got it in January, and by April, I had like 9 360s.
Wow.
Because I got the warranty. I got the red ring. One of them, the hard drive never worked. Not the hard drive, I'm sorry. The optical drive never works. One of them could play DVDs, but not game. It was a big deal. And it got to the point where the dude at GameStop was like, sis, spend the $30, get this system new. And I was like, no. Those are my poor days, my poverty days. And I was like, no, give me the used one. And he was just like, but you keep coming in here to get a new system. But once I bought it new, I was fine. They almost lost me last gen.
How much gas and money you would have saved if you had just listened?
I did. I stopped being hard-headed.
Just like the other thing, or so you claim about the other thing. But hey, I told you I was gonna get at you somehow. I told you I was gonna get at you somehow. And I'm not even gonna tell them what we're talking about, but I just got at you.
The shame.
For you to understand.
Oh man, cold-blooded. Where's my thing? I gotta put that
Nobody knows what we're talking about, but
out there. Cold-blooded.
Yeah, but yeah, I had 9 Xbox. Okay, so I shouldn't say 9. Let me take that back. It was 8. Wow. Let me tell you, it was 8 because what happened was, and I think GameStop changed their policy. So back then, GameStop wasn't checking systems, right? To get a warranty, it was $20 for a year. So one of my controllers got dusty. So it was either pay $60 for a controller or take my system in, pay for another year and get a whole new system. So the A360 was fine. I just wanted a new controller. But I think they changed the policy. So, but technically I had 9. But yeah, I almost went full PlayStation. I went back to PlayStation because I started with PS1. I still have it.
But not because you went back to PlayStation, because you sit there and you wait.
And then you're gonna say I was saying console war and stuff, but
no, that was gonna be the PlayStation.
Do all the worst and do all the worst.
Because I think I would have been done after, because I think I would have been done after the 7th one. the 6 or 7
Well,
for
the
Xbox.
problem was so what was good about it was I had the warranty, and I don't know
This
if
ain't
it's
a good story for Xbox right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's but it is, but it isn't because what happened was GameStop's policy was you had 30 days. So whether I had a warranty or not, I still had to take it back, and they weren't testing systems back then. So you could just take a system, get paid, and then leave, and that shit don't work. They test it now. So people were bringing in their 360 that didn't work instead of going through Microsoft. So then I came behind them and bought it. And they're like, oh, that one didn't work. Here's another one. Again, not being tested. So yeah, it sucked, but thankfully the 30-day warranty held me. Once I got the arcade one and then I got the Slim, I was good. But I almost went to PlayStation in 2013 because I saw the E3, I saw Don Matrix, and I was like, y'all done lost y'all rabbit ass minds that I can't.
That's when you should have played it.
I just yeah. When Don Matrix said that, I'm like,
that was my first console generation, like of my own money, like doing things myself as an adult. And he was just like, there's gonna be a point you have to buy a system, you have to make a decision. And I was just like,
what the fuck was that?
So
I'm just gonna keep making excuses for myself and fake it till I make it. Hey, it works for everybody. You weren't the only one. You weren't the only one.
But then I think they showed, was it Unity? I think they showed Unity. I was like, and Sunset Overdrive. I was like, I got to make that switch. I got to make the switch, and I got my Xbox One for like $125, brand new. And that was pretty much it. I mean, I also got my PlayStations every console generation. Once I finally got my system online, they gave me the name, some stupid ass name, Modern Hacker or some shit. And when you join Xbox, they give you like one free wheel spin to change it. So they gave me the first trash name, and I spun the wheels on 360. I spun the wheel, and the very next name they gave me was Kirby Titan. And I laughed the entirety of my ass off because I thought it was hilarious, and I kept it. And that's pretty much where it's been ever since. Some people think I chose that name. I'm like, ain't no way in hell I would have come up with that. I probably would have been lame and just used my actual name, but that's where it comes from. I spun the wheel, and the next name was Kirby Titan. And now I go on the Xbox app, and there are other Kirby Titans, but because they're not the original, they got to put the hashtag and the number. So it don't mean shit, but I'm proud of it.
You know the one. Yeah, I'm the one.
Right, original. I'm never changing my shit either. For what? I'm good.
Right. You tell them like this.
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
That's what you tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was hot.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. That's great. That's a great story. It wasn't great at first because I was just like, Lord have mercy, this isn't going well.
Listen, them's the breaks.
All right, so let's go to Slayer. Slayer.
Yeah.
The 20th anniversary, man. What was your thoughts about it? And then, give us your reasoning why you are an Xbox-centric player, man. What was it about? Well, you're really not. You're really a PC gamer.
No, see. Okay, see?
Yeah, confuse me.
I hate when people say this. I hate when people say this about me. Like,
Talk to me.
I rock everything.
Well, I do too. But you know what I'm saying. But everybody knows exactly where I play the most, though. Yes, go ahead.
I wouldn't even say I play on PC the most. I would say it's the Xbox still the most. Like, that's my console of choice, right?
Okay, all right.
But,
okay. We can rock with that. All right. So explain why that's the console the most, right?
Well, for me, it's going to sound kind of fraudish at the very, very beginning. At the very, very beginning, when Microsoft was talking about the Xbox and all that stuff, I didn't really care one way or another. It wasn't until maybe a month before release or so, I started really following it. Because all I really cared about was because I'm like, dude, this is PC hardware. It's going to get hacked just because people hate Microsoft. And people will make all types of great software for a little PC box you plug into your TV. And hey, I was right. Look at all those emulators and Kodi and all those things, right, that we have now, right? Even Plex. And if y'all know what Plex is, that was a fork over of Kodi, right? So those things came from the Xbox. But anyway, day one, my friend Sandrock had it. He had the original Xbox. Day one, and I went to play Halo. We played the first 2 levels. So, you know, the first level on the ship and the second level on the Halo proper. And that was a moment for me. I didn't get my original Xbox until they had those Samsung drives. I don't know if you know the difference, but it would read CDRs and other things like that. I still had that Xbox. That's like the best model Xbox of version 1.1, right? Because the disk drive would read everything, and I could do whatever I wanted with it, right? So to me, that was my console of choice for that generation, and still. But another quick story I want to tell is the story of how I got my 360. If you notice on my achievements, the True Achievements has that thing where it shows you history of Xbox or whatever. If you notice, my first achievement was on Christmas Eve 2005, not the release date of November 20 whatever it was, because 2005 was the year I moved from New York to PA. So I had pre-ordered it and everything. I signed my name in the book, page 1, Xbox number 6, right? So, I didn't live in New York the day it got released. You know, I had work and school at the same time, and I was getting maybe 2 hours of sleep a night in those days. So it wasn't until Christmas Eve, you know, I planned to see family and stuff. I went down to New York, and I didn't have the car with me because my family took the car, and the buses just came off of a big strike or whatever, so all the buses are free on the holidays, and so thus the buses are packed. And if you're in New York and you know where King's Plaza is and where Canarsie is, okay, I went to see Sandrock, my friend, or you know, the same guy whose original Xbox I played that first day of launch, right? From his house all the way to King's Plaza, right? To get the Xbox, the dude was like, "Oh, you still owe money. Okay, well, here's the money. Here's the $150 you owe me. Can I get my system, please?" He's like, "Oh, we'll call you when your turn is up." My turn is up. Dude, I am day 1. Look, you see the book? All these pages you're showing me at the end, you're trying to tell me to sign my name at the end? No. Hey, how about we go to page 1? You see this name right here? Where I came in September and I scratched out the old number and I put the Pennsylvania number that you didn't call ever? Give me my Xbox right now, right? And he looks at the manager, a woman, and she just looks back at him like, well, and the eyes were like, "You better get him his system before he starts barking at you. Because how the hell did you not call him?" And this is just all in the eyes. Like, you really did him dirty like that? Now I come to know, because it was Lemon who first called me up and told me, "Hey, get your guys to EB right now if you want to get this pre-order in." So when she saw Xbox number 6 and that you skipped over this person, yo, that means you messed up a friend of one of her friends. You better get him his Xbox now. And I knew I had the clout that I had. But then I had to take this Xbox and walk all the way back to Pattergate. Okay? And if you're from New York, you know where that is. So I had to walk all the way there. It took like an hour and a half. She lives on the 18th floor. The elevators weren't working. Two flights of stairs for every floor. That's 36 floors, people. So Christmas Eve, I finally walked all up them stairs, took back the Xbox. I played Hexic or Hexen. No. Hexic was the packing game, right? On Christmas Eve. Yeah. And so if you look at my achievement, my first achievement is from that on Christmas Eve. I promptly packed up the box. I passed out for a nap. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 p.m. the next day. I'm like, what the hell? But after all the walking, climb upstairs I did, it wasn't too much of a surprise. But hey, I still had my 360 launch model with the little mini remote and all of that you couldn't have gotten unless you had the launch system. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've had every Xbox since the Xbox One at launch, but yeah, man, that 360, man, it was a fight to get one. It was a fight to get one, and it was worth it, man, because it got a good story out of it. Now, didn't it?
All right. It sounded like you just get. It sounded like a workout video. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, wow! It knocked me the hell out. I burned up all them calories. I was out till 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
That's crazy. All right, so let's keep going. All right, let's get to you. Let's go to you, Solo. What did you think of it? Because nobody has a game, but that's okay. I'd rather if you want to just tell your story, get some history. That's fine with me. It's all right because we got one more topic and then we're gonna get out of here. Give us some of your back history on Xbox. When did you kind of start with it, or what was the reason why you became maybe if you're at that point I don't even know if you're an Xbox centric gamer, but what got you to even purchase an Xbox? And if you want to talk,
you'll figure out in this story.
Okay, the 20th anniversary.
You'll figure out in this story.
So, all right, so let's hear it. Let's hear it right now. All right.
Oh, shit.
So first, I'm gonna go on ahead and get this out of the way. Max Payne, like Dean said earlier, that was the joint. When I heard that,
that was a great point.
When I heard that at the 20th anniversary, it brought me back to when I was a little kid and I played on one of them super old ass PCs that you can't play on now. I bought Max Payne. That was my first PC game, or actually no, second one behind Flight Simulator, like 98 or something like that. But walking that baby blood trail as a kid fucked me up a little bit. And I'll never forget that at all. So on the very first Max Payne, that shit was wild.
I haven't played it. Sorry, my bad.
So that was my biggest part on the 20th anniversary. But anyways, let's get to the story. So the story is, man, I was big into PlayStation when I was a little kid, like from age like 6-7 years old all the way up until like middle, like late middle school, which is right around the time where like PS2 and the original Xbox came out. I was one of those PlayStation guys that was walking around saying, F the Xbox. I was a little kid. I was just being a brat and just being like, I ain't going to this new console. I just don't have any attachment to it. I don't get it. I don't see the reason to go for it. Until I went to one of my buddies' house, and I just so happened to play Halo with them, and I was like, "Oh, this game's really good." We played some Halo for a few hours, and I already knew about Halo, and I already heard all of the jive and everything like that, and I was just like, "Okay, yeah, like I get it. You got one good game. That's cool." But the thing that really threw me off, because I was always big into music, I would record the radio stations with my old school.
There you go. I already know where you going.
With my gray cassette, and I used to, when I was a little kid, like 5-6 years old, I used to have like the tape recorder with the microphone connected to it.
Yeah.
I used to, make my own radio with the songs I'd record on the radio station, and then I'd pause it, and I'd just be my own DJ and then listen to myself like going to bed. But anyways, I got really into Conflict Desert Storm. That was one of my favorite games of all time. And I was playing it on PlayStation. I thought it was a good game, but I went over to my buddy's house and he had it on Xbox. Man, I sat down and played that game, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then he's like, "Bro, check this out." This dude turned on "Still Ballin' by Tupac while we were playing Conflict Desert Storm, and I was like, "Bruh, we're listening to music from your console. Like how are we listening to music on here right now when you have the Conflict Desert Storm CD in?" And he's like, "Oh, you can burn you can burn music to the hard drive." And I was like, so you don't need a memory card for everything. And he's like, "No, it actually has a hard drive inside where it'll record your music, and then you just play it back depending on the game." Man, I took my PlayStation 2 to GameStop the next day, bro. I immediately bought
That shit
Grand
funny.
Theft Auto.
You're
The Grand Theft Auto like packages that they had back then, because you could listen to your own radio station in that game, and the Conflict Desert Storm game, and later on Conflict Vietnam when it came out. And I was just like, dude, this brings it to a new level, because I used to be one of those dudes that would plug the white cable into the back of the TV of the game sound, or into the back of the stereo with the game sound, and then I'd plug the red cable from my from like a CD player or whatnot into the red side, so I'd be getting music with my game at the same time. With Xbox, I didn't have to do that anymore. I didn't have to ghetto rig my stuff anymore. So I was all on board with that very first Xbox. That was just that was my very first love, and I did not go back to PlayStation until PS5.
That's why
I haven't been back there since.
CDRs.
Wow.
I could put all my music on there.
Yep. Same here, man. I jammed out like I had all sorts. I had hundreds of songs on there. I'd make my own playlist, and I just game out all night, just playing whatever. And it was phenomenal. And then they brought it to the 360.
Oh, and Ham.
And PlayStation was trying to catch
don't
up.
check this out. Oh, and check this out, Ham Solo. Only on the original Xbox and the 360 does that feature work as originally intended, because they would pause the music during cutscenes, switch tracks with the game, in time with the game. They killed all of that with the original Xbox. It doesn't work that way anymore. It just plays music in the background blindly and not in time or anything.
Well, they say in Forza it stops for cutscenes though.
Forza does that, right? Forza is the first game I've seen since then that does that.
Bro, let me bring this up real quick. It was so next fucking level when I was able to play NFL 2K and have stadium music of my playlist.
Bro,
in my stadium.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes.
Absolutely, man.
Not only was NFL 2K,
You're
only
right.
NFL 2K was better than Madden, but it had all the features, bro. You had a house, you had your own music, you had first-person football.
Okay, I got my story too, but we got to keep it moving. But boy, that was a good one. That was a
major feature.
Everybody's stories has been
and it doesn't
fantastic.
even work like that anymore. They need to fix that. I mean, thank God Forza has it though, but that's Forza probably doing it itself.
Madden's still behind, bro. They still haven't caught up to that.
Yeah, they haven't caught up to that. No, you're right.
That takes me back.
Yeah, boy. All right. So wait till I tell you my story. All right. So, Crispy. My story's gonna be quick because it's wild, but Crispy, it's on you now. You know, if you got a story,
am I all of a sudden telling my story, which I have?
You can do that. You can do that, or you can just talk about
I
the
feel
25th
like,
anniversary.
I'm gonna go Cliff Note status on this bitch.
Okay.
I heard that.
So basically, I started with Nintendo. I only started with Nintendo because my cousin hand-me-downed it to me. And I started with Mario, went through that. All of a sudden, you know, my parents were like, here's Kirby's Dream Land. And I was like, bro, I can absorb things and make them me. That's awesome. So that's the crazy thing. Like, that's the way I look at games. Like, what are you doing for me? You know what I mean? And then I went to Sega and I was like, man, there's so many sports games, because I loved football, I loved basketball, I loved all those things. So many sports games that seem to play different on this console. And, you know, played NFL 94, NHL 94. Like, I went ham. Like, I was all in the sports games up until like 98, 99. Then they felt old. Then I started going to other things. And I'm like, okay, well, we got these SOCOMs out here. We got all this other stuff. Sega's starting to feel like it's going to die. I have the Saturn. It's doing nothing for me. It's just like, hey, we have no games. Thank you. And the only reason why I can honestly say this is because and I truly miss it. Blockbuster.
Mm.
I lived literally up the street from Blockbuster. It was like
Well, you got Blockbuster
7
now. You got Game Pass.
Sir.
Yeah, well, you're getting way ahead of it.
Oh,
You're
I'm sorry.
getting
I'm sorry.
way
I'm sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's dude. Like, all right, you're getting way ahead of it. You know
man.
what did it for? Like, this is where I go and say experiences. Like, I played SOCOM, I played Killzone, I played MAG. A lot of people don't even remember that
Oh my
game.
God,
Only
MAG.
have no clue. Like, the multiplayer went in.
$50 for that game.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Like, PlayStation for a small period of time just looks so much better for experiences with other people. And that's what I look at now, because at the end of the day, I'm a busy person, but I also love bullshitting with people. I mean, let's be honest. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm right, I'm wrong. Like, we go to say what we're going to say to each other, and that's how I feel. You know what I mean? And, you know, I got an Xbox, and it wasn't really what it is now. Like, it was kind of like, you know, like influx. And, you know, I played a couple Gears games on 360. You know, I did all these like things that, like, you know, I even played Halo at times. Like, I don't remember. I don't care to remember. I was so messed up as a human being then. That's the way I look at it. But, you know, you're in your teens to 20s, going between there. It's a crazy time. And I look at that time and I say, you know what really, like, at times made me, it was video games. It made me get my head clear. It was like, hey, I have to focus on this, or if I don't, you know, why am I even playing? You know what I mean? Like, and it came down to multiplayer, and Xbox was right there. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. And then they shit the bed. They shit the bed hard. Dude, one came out. I was like, say what? What you talking about? And I'm like, why are you doing this right now? Like, why are you doing this to me? I literally was playing Gears 3 on my 360 for a year and a half, 2 years, until I finally bought a one. And the only reason why I bought a one is because in that period of time, because I pay attention, they purchased the rights to Gears of War from Epic. And they came out with the Ultimate Edition not long after. That's why. So that's why I go and say, if somebody loves Last of Us, somebody, like, they can't, they have to play it. You know what I mean? I do not hate a person for that, because, you know, Gears just had that, and I was like, oh, you're actually paying attention. Like, that's when I started saying, like, oh, you're actually paying attention. These IPs actually matter. You know, like, you didn't figure that out when you purchased Halo a few years before from Bungie. So I don't know, like, that was like home with, like, you know, how they've went about it. Like, I paid attention. Like, The Rock, I was like, yo, The Rock's gonna come on. Sure enough, he's there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know, like, the one thing I'll say is that Microsoft's a huge company. They have a lot of asshats probably in there somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of push through the brush, or you dig in the weeds, and you're like, oh, there's the asshat. But at the end of the day, as far as my dollar's concerned, I feel like they give me something that I don't experience anywhere else. And the fact is I haven't played Gears more than like 3 hours in the past month. And what that says for somebody like me is that the quality they're bringing out, and they're hitting home for many of us. I mean, if you're playing Forza right now, or you're playing Halo, like, that's a lot of people. And, Halo being free to play and being able to be, pushed out on these different platforms so easily. And for me, once I downloaded the update, which that's the only issue I had, as soon as I did that, the game run flawlessly immediately after, which I am not used to because I've done that before and it's been a shit show. So I was like, they're not playing in a party, everything, like talking to people, being like, dude, this got me hyped. Like, I haven't been hyped in Halo in years. Like, I don't know. They did something with this small little show. I mean, they said 30 minutes, and I was like, this is a fan service. But it was such a good fan service because you give people a beta, even though it's the multiplayer's done, dude. They already announced this. Like, they did something that I didn't think they had the balls to do it, which I was very impressed when they did.
Yeah, no doubt. My quick story, and then my last topic, and it's going to be an open topic where we just, whoever talks and say what they have to say, that's it, because it's, it's just a question. So really for me, I always bring up about the situation between me and my son. So you've heard that one a million times. So this one's a little bit wilder. Okay, and this is what sparked me to bring up the question because of something that I see today, which cracked me up. And I posted it, and it was, and I didn't know what show it was, but when I found it, I guess it was from Cowboy Bebop. And there was this, and there were people that were complaining, they were upset about this, this clip from a show, and I thought it was just totally damn hilarious, and it reminded me of a moment when I was with Xbox. So let me share it quickly. All right, so the Cowboy Bebop thing. It's this older white woman and there's this black dude, right? And so the older white woman says this line to the black dude. Basically, she's seducing him to sleep with her, right? And so she says, she says, how does she put it? He says, you sound like you're trying to blackmail me. And she says, oh yeah. She's like, you black and you a male, and she's looking at him and she's like, I'm about that life. So the reason why it's connected to the Xbox thing is because of what and old dude did it because I didn't think anybody else was going to say it, but he's brought it up. Ham brought it up, and he was talking about the OG Xbox, and putting your music in there. So one of the coolest things that was life for me too, right? Like doing all that. But there was another aspect to it because I used to club, I used to kick it, I used to do the most back there, right? So I remember going to a club, and I remember I sit there. There was this older white woman. She was a cowgirl. She was in a cowboy boot. She was in a hat. She was just we went to certain type of clubs during the middle of the week. We went to mixed clubs, which is a mixed club is like all different types of people. Then we went to our black clubs, and then we went somewhere else, somewhere with just somewhere way far out where we didn't just somewhere just new. And so we went to the mixed club. There was this cow chick, and she was this cowgirl, and she was an older woman, and she was like, "Hey, you want to dance?" I was like, "All right, cool, right?" You know what I'm saying? So dancing. So she was just right to the point, wasn't playing around, right? So the coolest thing, and this was my go-to thing on Xbox. Turn on my Xbox, let the music play, and if you remember, you can have all those little silhouette, little lights and.
Oh yes, TK and I was talking about this.
Yeah, bro.
The visualizations.
Bro.
The visualizations.
Yeah, the
visualizations or something.
Man,
that was live. Have the visualizations playing in the background.
Man,
her
name was Barb. Man, I'll never forget her name. Man, right? And she was like, "What is this?" I said, "Oh, this is this new technology. I got hooked up to my television." She didn't know anything about no console and nothing. Like, this chick was like in her late 40s, maybe even 50s. I don't even know. And
He was rubbing his leg, too.
Bro, the music was playing, and it was silhouettes, and you turned on the lights, and she was lit, boy. Let's just say, the deed was done. And so when I see that Cowboy Bebop, I said, "Oh no, this is a topic because I got to say this because you know how I be wild."
Gets laid. Oh no.
So the
I'm
OG
just
Xbox was
enjoying this.
getting shit popping. So that was my quick little thing, bro. The lights had a right, you know what I'm saying? So it was great. But
Lord have mercy.
and
I
it wasn't
can't
just
believe this.
that wasn't the only one too, but the lights that seduced them, boy. Thank you, Xbox
Oh,
boy.
it did work. It did work.
It worked. It worked to seduce
It
them.
does.
Boy.
Yeah, it does work. He's not
You know what I'm
lying.
saying? You ask me, you want to listen to some music? She was like, yeah. What'd you like to listen to? And
You weren't the only one who did that. You weren't the only one who
No,
did that.
you
wasn't.
roll and then let that music go and then the things pop up and then all them lights and then man. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Woo! All right. So last topic. Nice. We get out here. What you did? Come on now. You telling me nobody is trying to seduce you with the lights? With the Xbox lights?
Nah.
Man, with the silhouettes? Boy.
Okay, first of all,
I'm trying to seduce, but I just have played in the background.
shade.
Yeah.
No shade,
Yeah.
but you're forgetting my age.
Mhm.
When the Xbox was out, I was in high school. In middle school.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't no seducing, sir.
Young tender.
He's a snap stalk. You're not a
You
lieutenant. yet.
33 like me?
Yeah, I'll be 33 2 months.
Okay, so children, so
me
anyway,
too.
listen, the OG Xbox, you know what I'm saying?
December.
Listen, y'all need to bring that back to the Xbox Series X, Series S. You know what I'm saying? Let that be popping. Bring those lights because it seduced all types of women. It didn't matter what
Were
color
these
they
like
were. They were with it.
Windows Media Player?
Yep. They had Media Center, all of that. Yep.
That's it. That's all it took.
Cypher, what you talking about? What about fraud? But I'm just
Times
being
was
real,
hard.
man. Listen.
Early not, because they worked easily.
Them light, man, turn on the console. It's you want to play some music, and so they thought it was a radio because once you sit there and turn it on, and then the TV started, it's like, oh, that is so cool. And then the music vibing, you still sipping, you talk, man. That was it. They're like, oh, the lights are so pretty. I said, I got
Not sipping.
He said he's sipping.
Not sipping.
Sipping on some
That shit
scissor.
slapped on my projection screen
Hey,
TV.
but see, when they say, oh, them lights are so pretty, I said, I gotcha.
And all of y'all who are talking crap right now, y'all probably were doing the same thing or just
You were
too
doing
young.
the same thing.
So stop.
Ain't no
you
slowing
blind,
down. Ain't
everybody.
nobody from the public.
Listen,
everybody know
because people
that.
were doing
They
that
know
with
what was
Windows,
going
the same thing. Like you said, it was in Windows Media Player, it was the same ones, the same visualizations. Yep.
All right. So we got 8 minutes left, and so we got to be quick. So all right, the question I got, and like I said, this is for everybody on the panel. You want to answer it? Go ahead. But if Xbox finally, has Xbox finally killed all of the narratives within the first year, or is there still more work to be done? Because there were so many narratives, and Xbox has really came out and did a lot. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that there's still work to be done, or do you think that these narratives has already been driven away? What do you guys think?
I think it's both, to be honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like the main narratives, because the narrative is constantly changing, but the consistent ones that have been in place for the last more than half a decade, I feel like those are gone. If you are willing to look at logic, if you're not, I can't help you. But I feel like those narratives are gone. However, as far as there being work to be done, I don't think the Xbox team is like, all right, we're in a good spot. So yeah, we're in a good spot. Like, I feel like they're constantly in a state of betterment. So even though, we may feel like, we in a good spot, we got this going on, Game Pass going on, I feel like how the team is being led across studios is how can we be even better? And I feel like with the generation just starting, and changes already being implemented or talked about, I feel like they still feel like we have more to do, and changes and improvements are coming. So I feel like the answer is yes to both of those questions.
Okay.
But again, narratives are constantly changing. the narrative that it is now is going to be completely different in 6 months. It'll be different next week. So, the old ones I think have been kind of squashed a little bit. But that's just me.
The only thing I could say about this is that I feel like next year, about this time, people will have no doubt. They will understand. And the one narrative that I always hear is third person story driven. Right? I mean, it's single player. Okay. That's not my jam, but people love it. All right? Clearly. I mean, Sony is here for a reason as of now. But the one game I feel like would kill that in a second, only because I played Hellblade 1, is Hellblade 2. And I feel like it's going to absolutely smash that narrative into the ground. And that's going to be the end of that.
I think it's going to be other games, but yeah, no, I agree with you. Hellblade 2 is going to be.
No, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, they've been working on this for like 3 years now.
Oh, longer than that.
I'll bet you it is longer, but I'm being conservative. It's 3 years that they've been working on that game. And not only that, but going through transitioning to a bigger facility, showing us Project Mara and everything else. Like, they're doing things that Microsoft wants them to do. They're like, yeah, you got free reign. Do what you want. Spend money. You can make new experiences with what you're doing. We're good with that. And that's what I love. A lot of people don't give Microsoft credit, but if somebody wants to do something, they let them do it. I mean, look at Psychonauts 2, bro. Like, that shit should have been thrown into the fucking curb. If we were going off the narrative of what everybody else thinks is a great game, you wouldn't have experienced that. You know what I'm saying? So don't sit here and trash on somebody saying, you know what? We don't care about the money. As long as you're being, as long as you're under us or you're being truthful with us, we don't care about the money. All we care about is new experiences for people right now. Like, yes, we have to make money down the road, but are we going to sit here and harp on the fact that we're not making money today? That's the whole point. And I mean, regardless of how you feel, Microsoft has stayed on that lane for a while, which is crazy because they're a $1 trillion company. Normally, $1 trillion companies are like, nah, you're not making us money, you're done. No, Microsoft's like, you know what? I see potential. You might look at that and be like, oh, they're just being assholes. No. They're looking at it like, why not? Why not do it? We have the money. We're not losing anything. Why not do it? And I give them credit for that because when you have, people just trying to make it look great and for them to stand up and say, hey, Game Pass is something, you just haven't seen what it's capable of yet. And that's why I give Phil credit. Phil's a gamer. Yeah, you know what I mean? He does things that, and you know what? I'm not saying he ain't reading off the cards when he's doing interviews or something. I ain't saying that. Everybody's got to be logical and be like, I need to stay on script. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that dude, he's doing things for gaming that I haven't seen in my entire life. I mean, for me, I look at Blockbuster because I had options everywhere. I could do whatever I wanted. And I say, gosh darn, man, Xbox is trying to do it. And they're not shy about it. If they're trying to change somebody's mind, they say it. And I could give them credit for that.
Side note to kind of add to that. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I think, it really is exciting to see what Xbox has cooking up next as far as their games. Because like you were saying, Hellblade has been in development for 3 years. Fable's been in development for 4. And if you're looking at the first gen games that they've released so far, Halo, hella polished, optimized. Forza's the same thing. It's the biggest and best it's been. It just makes me excited for the next Gears, Hellblade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like what they're releasing lately, they're firing on all cylinders. So it just makes me really excited for the generation as a whole because they're taking it seriously. And I feel like it's showing with this month alone with Halo and Forza in, what was it, 7 days? A 7-day span because
7-day span,
Forza came out on the 9th and they shadow dropped the Halo beta on the 15th. So I feel like it's just kind of a sign of things to come for this generation. That was it.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop in real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Do my best Get Bayless impression.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh boy.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, Xbox, where they're at right now, they are still kind of not there yet.
Okay.
They're not, and that's the way that I'm going to completely look at it. And the reason behind that is because they're coming off of a really bad season. The way that I look at what they're dropping right now is like, all right, we won some games, but we need to make it to the playoff. We're not in the playoffs yet. We're good, but we're not like, what the hell? Like this person's the best ever. They're not quite there yet. I feel like after like about midway through 2023, we'll really know what Xbox actually is, and it's for reasons like Starfield. We need to see games like Starfield flourish, be big, be awesome, not come out as a buggy mess or anything like that, like Bethesda kind of threw themselves in the corner to look like for a little while. We need to see Playground Games like eventually come out, with Fable. We'll need to see we'll need to see some consistency, like the way that we're seeing Halo, where it's coming out and it's clean, looking really good. But the problem with that is it's not coming out in its full structure. So that's where it's like, man, they are gaining ground, but they're just not quite there yet because they don't have every piece put in place. But you can see that the building that they're making is massive, immaculate, and it's going to be really cool once it's built. But I'm not going to say, and this is coming from a person that is love it. Like I said, I didn't have a PS3 or a PS4. I was team Xbox all the way. I really want to see them flourish, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself and say that they're there right now. I feel like they are killing narratives, but they're not quite dead yet. That's where I'm at on it.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I just wanted to say real quick, like people are talking, all year plus, right? And I constantly say this, we always have a topic where it's, my answer is always really about, the narratives that these basically fanboys and whatnot are saying. But truly, every narrative that they held on to long term, right, has been utterly destroyed, right? But it's really these new ones they have every week. Every week they got this new line, this new come up they're on, where they're like, oh, this thing, and it's, it used to take a whole week, and now it's destroyed within that day now, right? All these negative narratives. And that's all they really have now, like anybody who's looking at the Xbox and thinking it won't be successful. But I agree with our guest here. It's going to take some time, but I think they're doing really well now.
Fantastic.
They're doing almost everything they possibly could do. They have already destroyed all the narratives that people had about them. All the negative thoughts and opinions that people might have about Xbox and Microsoft from last generation has already been negated. You haven't been paying attention and still have the opinion that Xbox isn't a brand to consider, even if you don't go with Xbox, that they're not worthy of consideration because you're still thinking about Last generation, what happened last generation? You are ill-informed about what's going on. That's how much they've changed. But yet and still, they have a lot to do before they could really say they're in a position of power, but they're well on their way. The path is clear before them and everyone can see it now.
Mark my words, they're going to take over. I'm sorry.
They're well on their way, but they're not there yet.
You know
No,
what?
they're going to take over, dude.
You know, I have to respect what Ham said because I agree.
Yeah.
The narrative part is dead.
Yeah.
You know, when one of the narratives was like, oh, Halo, Gears, Forza, that's all they got, and then those games don't chart well, they don't do well, they don't do this. It is a possibility after listening tonight about somebody, and not only him, but other people out there that has the early copy of Halo. They're talking about this, that this could be and like I said, I hate bringing up meta because I don't give two shits about Metacritic, but this could be a 90 rated Halo. And if it's a 90 rated Halo, all bets
I ain't
are
gonna turn her
off.
off.
93.
Oh,
I ain't gonna turn her off.
no, Halo.
No.
Halo
Where
2
I
was
projected,
92, I believe.
where I projected it was between 87 and 89. I was just kind of like, I'm like, I don't know if the critics will give Microsoft 2.
I'm calling 93. I'm calling a 93.
I mean, can we think about this real quick?
Well, no.
Forza Horizon, bro.
We gotta go.
Forza.
We gotta go. What was you gonna say?
90 plus for how many years now? Like, how can you do that with a genre?
That's Forza, but this is the thing right here is that Forza has gotten the pass because Forza is just, what Playground Games has done with Forza is just too good. They can't ignore that. But
are we supposed to hate that?
No, but what I'm saying is that to give them another 90 for Halo after the critics was they hate them, they hate Halo 5. Is already going to tell how this generation is going to go, because this is the light season for Xbox. Remember, there were articles that were saying that Xbox was over here trying to scrap to get publishers to start putting games on Game Pass for this year because they rolled games back until 2022. So and just look at what Game Pass has done. Like, Game Pass is nuts, and then you got games like people seen that gameplay earlier of Bright Memory. It's not a long game, but Bright Memory Infinite. You got Scorn, you got Crossfire X, you got the Gunk. What?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? So
did anybody actually see when they brought out that they have touchscreen games? Dude, I'm telling you, bro.
I played those games.
They're gonna. I'm telling you.
Through xCloud.
But I gotta give you like my girl was like touchscreen games all day, and I told her about this, and she was like, "Say what? Wait, I could play this game on that? I've heard about this game, but I'm just not interested because I can't just pull my phone out and play it." Like, dude, she has so many games downloaded that are like, they're not Game Pass status. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you get to earn. You could play it on your console. You could do like, dude, Xbox is on another level. Like, they're just like, you know what?
With the technology, the thing with this topic, it's more about their game output, and that's why I agree with Ham on this. Is that there's still more to be told. To be seen. We talked about it last week about the game from Compulsion that got me really hyped with the setting with that there's black protagonists and it's gonna have a voodoo setting and all of this crazy. That sounds amazing, and it's going to be a AAA. Plus, you got In Exile, you got Obsidian, you got Okay, well, Psychonauts already did.
You already got all of Bethesda.
You got, but all the rest of Bethesda. You got Contraband. You also
uh,
got Indiana Jones. You're gonna have
Atomic Heart.
Avalanche Studios,
yeah,
like they're
Killer Instinct is gonna
partnering.
come back. So listen, that's the thing, right? Like
They're trying to become the Netflix of gaming. We already know this.
I know that, but what I'm saying is that, but this year was a big surprise and a big leap. And if you already start off with 2 90 rated games going into 2021, then the sky's the limit. Xbox might take off by the middle of next year, and that's it. Like at that point, that might be it, because we still don't know what they're going to have lined up for Game Pass, on top of the titles that they're going to have with Stalker and all of that, even though Stalker is not a full exclusive, but it's a timed exclusive. So anyway, we got to get out of here. I know this is a great topic, but I still think that I still agree that Xbox still has something else to prove on the front, but the old narratives are dead. There's not any more narratives.
They're only getting started, frankly.
Yeah, they're only getting started, and people should have been paying attention to that. Maybe our boy from Platinum Games, he's seen it, and then and now he's over here begging for a pass. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We about to get the hell out of here. Crispy must have forgot that I did a podcast earlier today. So
blame it on me. He blamed it on me.
I gotta blame it on Crispy. Anyway, but Crispy, where can they find you at, brother man? I really do appreciate it, man. I'm gonna have to bring you back on again for sure. It was fun. You was making some great points. But we gotta get out of here. But where can they find, you at, brother?
Yeah, fucking turkeys are waiting for me, bro. They're like,
oh no, the turkeys.
Yeah, I just got mine to brine too.
Yeah, man.
At Chris Bomb on Twitter, Chris Bomb 28 Xbox Live, and the only thing I have going on is Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And that is it. Happy Turkey Day.
Well, I'm gonna hit you up more often then. If that's all you got left.
But I will not do a podcast Thursday.
No, I'm talking about in the future. I'm not. There is no podcasting next week.
Dude,
nothing.
I could usually always do this podcast. So just
okay.
Just let me know, bro.
All right,
dude. Great. By the way, like pleasure meeting you both. Great conversations all around. Six layer, dude. I know you. We're on a similar page. And K Mega, I mean, kind of threw me out of left field. You became the bad guy for a second. You're like, oh, I'm going for it, and then you
split second, man. For that split second,
back,
and you realized that would have been a bad idea.
Because I was going to do a lot of cussing. I was going to be insulting. I was going to be a real asshole. But you know what? I don't know the man. The man could be a saint from God. I don't know, but I just think irresponsibility is just is asinine. But before I go to the next person, we get out of here. I got to get DJ Birdo Das. Man, he said, K Mega, you old dog. Would you wear a hat that night? No, I did not wear her hat, but you know what I'm saying? But she came back multiple times and she kept looking at the lights. Listen like that.
All right. All right.
Anyway. Yeah. And she, you know what I'm saying? And I was in my 20s and she was like I said, in the late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, she was experienced, and I said, yeah. She made a lot of calls, but yeah. Anyway. So,
all right.
As I was saying, the lights. Thank you, Xbox, OG Xbox, for the strobe lights. We do appreciate it, because there have been many has fallen and succumbed to the sweet ambrosia of K Mega. Anyway, let's go.
God.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Did you? I don't know why. It must have tasted like a cupcake, like a cupcake. Anyway, a sweet, moist.
What the?
All right, now, buddy. Hey, we're gonna lose our first guest. The first time he came on here, he ain't ever coming back. Man, Ham Solo. Appreciate you. I told you we were some damn fools over here. Well, I guess it's just me. You better be glad Lemon wasn't on here tonight. It would have been worse. So thank you so much, man. I hope this is the last time, man, that you can come on and chat with us, man. This was a pleasure. Tell everybody where they can find you at, brother.
All right. I am at HamSolo05 Gaming on Twitter. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, got a YouTube channel. They said, we said gaming. It's spelled out TSWS gaming. Definitely like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. But if you're a gamer and you want to be on the show and you want to show yourself out, I'm more than happy. Just drop a message in my DMs. I'm more than happy to show off people. That's my thing. Is I like to show people who people are in real life. It's a camera. It's a show that's on camera, but it's recorded. We just kick it, talk for a little bit, and then we get into the show and I ask some questions, and you're out within about an hour. So if you're interested in that, holler at your boy. But anyways, it was a pleasure being on the show. I'd be more than happy to come back anytime. You just hit me up, especially if somebody drops off and you need somebody to recover. I can do that. Just holler at your boy, man. It's all good.
No doubt, man. I really do appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate that. You and Crispy, for sure. I will definitely hold you on to that, because there'll be times where, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, it's just three of us. Let me try to hit somebody else.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So all right, man. Slayer. Man, you was over here, you was going in as usual. You sitting here telling us that you was on the power walk. You know what I'm saying? Forget the Halo.
And climbing
you was on
36 flights of stairs. I will never forget that, bro.
The marathon, man.
My dedication must not be ever questioned by nobody, goddamn.
Never. I will never question you on your Xbox devotion. Anyway, so what's up, brother? Where can they find you at, man? I know you've been out there doing some works too, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely I do a lot of pop-up podcasts with the homie New Legal and Technoblast and a few others, J-Rock and other folks who can hop in.
Yeah, I gotta hit up Technoblast, man.
Fireboss, Afterbox. Oh, Techno is a funny.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Got little jokes in the background. Yeah, saying little funny things when other people are talking. Sometimes I do the same thing, but him, he's really funny with that stuff. But yeah, you can catch me on Twitter. And follow everything I'm doing, and of course, Dragon's Den podcast, Saturday 6 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. You know how we get down. Runaway Dragons, myself, PK, Akumu, and Possible. Guest, Brooklyn represent all day, every day, even up 36 flights of stairs. So there you have it.
Right.
And I'll check y'all next week. Oh, by the way, one more completely unrelated thing. Last week we were talking about how they took down at least the PC versions of Grand Theft Auto, like all the older versions. They're back up now, and they're patching, and of course they're gonna patch these newer versions. But if you don't have these old versions, at least in your Steam account or Xbox, whatever, I only know that they have it back up on PC. I don't know about the consoles. I can only imagine the older versions are back up. So if you want the old versions of the PS2 trilogy Grand Theft Auto games, now is your chance to buy them before they take them out again. So just FYI, folks. I just wanted to mention that earlier and I forgot.
Oh, no doubt. And then last but not least, man, the first lady of the second generation of the GRG podcast, Kirby Titan, a.k.a. D, a.k.a. Jenny's mom, or Gingy's mom, or Ginger's mom, or
Fufu's mom.
Right.
All right. What was the third one? I forgot.
All right.
All right. Or,
yes, me.
Okay.
No. Anyways, so yes, that is me. All those names are me. You can find me on GRG Podcast every Friday night at 9 p.m.
Not next Friday, though.
Not next Friday, though.
Not next Friday. We free.
We free. Yes.
I'm gonna be fat and full as a.
We might be on live before and/or after. But
somebody else might have a podcast, and y'all might be on. But you ain't gonna be on GRG. GRG ain't having no podcast.
And we might be on Xbox Live, I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
If the tryptophan don't knock this out.
That might be when I catch you, but I'm gonna try to catch you this weekend on that Gears. But if not, I got you on that Friday night.
Wait. No, you said Gears, bro.
I will. I'll be in that Gears. We're gonna do that.
All right.
So every Friday except this upcoming Friday, because it's gonna be a holiday. I'm on GRG Podcast at 9 p.m. the Lord's time, and I'm on Xbox Live. Excuse me, the Lord's time, and I'm on Xbox Live and PSN Kirby Titan, and Twitter at Gingy's Mom. Eastern time is the Lord's time. Okay, wrap it up.
There we go. Wrap it up.
Lord's time.
Amazing. A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
Let's go. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming and checking us out. Shout out to Mooch for having me on. Earlier tonight. Shout out to Dealer for having me on Monday night, and shout out to Ham Solo for having me on. I'm available. If you want to hear me, I feel better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got this big ass hole in my leg, but I'm good. I feel good. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? They got this thing out. I will say this though. I was very shocked. And the doctor was shocked because she didn't know how big that thing was. That tumor that got taken out of my thigh.
Wow. And
at first she said it was the size of a mango. Well, then when she looked at the X-rays, and then she put, she had a little like measure thing or whatever. It come out to be the size of a small Nerf football because it was oval. And so that's nuts. I've had that damn thing in me for 3 years. That's nuts. So that was a lot of relief. I still got some more to go, but thank everybody for the well wishes for that. We on our way to try to get everything fixed and taken care of. But I got a big ass fat burger to eat. I still I've been chewing on these fries. I ate that other side bacon. That side bacon's been gone for a minute. And I've been chewing on hell on these fries. But this burger about to get demolished. So thank you guys so much. Remember, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully by 2023 we can all be right and everybody can get out there and party and get the pants off, dance off, jumping off. But for right now, get y'all's ass vaccinated, clean, wash your tail, wash your hands. Don't be getting out here being filthy. Let's do our thing. Everybody, thank you. Everybody,
wash your legs too.
Wash your legs.
Get them legs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all women, shave your legs, women. Don't
put some lotion. And put some lotion.
Hold on. I said wash the legs. Oh, okay.
Lotion afterwards. Actually, Larry's out there.
Wash, shave, and then put lotion. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't want to be feeling no damn rusty ass, crusty ass toes. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to rub up on somebody's legs after a good night of love making. Anyway, we out. I'm out.
Man, that's it. I'm taking a Percocet and lying my ass down. Oh God.
Good night, y'all. We out. Peace.
Bye.
Later.
We out.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG Podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. This was the GRG Podcast.